be part of our region. So I hope the other senators will also have an opportunity. I also want to say that when you are coming to Busia, you have to pass through my county, Vihiga. Vihiga starts from Maseno all the way to Yala. When you get to Yala, then you enter Siaya County. So when you come to Busia, it is important that you visit Luanda, where we have a lot of good things, including the famous hub. But there are a lot of good things we do with the Busia people. I know I'll be making a statement in regards to the road from Kisumu all the way to Busia, which I know the national government is planning to have a dual carriageway. But even as that is being done, let it be done in a humane manner so that we have an international highway that benefits our two countries, Kenya and Uganda. I also want to join my colleague Halwale to say that I think it's important for Senate to look at opportunities for on-source revenue for our counties which are at the border. For example, there is a lot of trade between Kenya and Uganda. How much of that trade is benefiting our county governments? And when we talk about that, we also talk about Bungoma County, which is also on the border. We also talk about the other counties which are at the border. I think that will be an important thing to consider. Secondly, the issue of challenges of who are being arrested recklessly by Ugandan government, and they are not able to do their trade very well because of that harassment. I think the relevant committee needs to really deal with that issue so that we continue promoting fish business in this region. And lastly, Busia County, as Senator Halwale has said, is very privileged in terms of human resource. This is a county that has highest number of professors in our region. And these professors, it's an indication that this is a very progressive region, but we are seeing challenges around early pregnancies, challenges around school dropout. So that is negating the good gains that this county has made. So I hope KEWOSA, our good ladies, led by the SG, are going to look into issues of around early marriages, early pregnancies and all that, so that we ensure that these girls who can become professors in future are able to be motivated and empowered to become great citizens of this country.
Thank you. Honorable Senators, allow me to make a further communication. As you may be aware, the chamber system in Busia County Assembly is different from the one the senators are accustomed to in the Senate chamber in Nairobi. It is therefore necessary for the Presidium to make adjustment in the way senators request the floor. The following procedure will apply in seeking to capture the eye of the Speaker. 1, senators wishing to make contributions to any matter shall be required to raise their hand. The Speaker will then announce the senator who takes the floor. Only the senator called upon by the Speaker to take the floor may turn on their microphone. So as you raise your hand, please don't turn on your microphone until the Speaker has given you the floor. Now, senators who wish to raise points of order, seek clarification, or give information will also be required to raise their hand to capture the attention of the Speaker. Now, your cooperation in this matter will facilitate the smooth conduct of the Senate proceedings. Next order, please.
Order number 3, messages.
Honorable Senators, I wish to report to the Senate that pursuant to Standing Order 46.3 and 4, I have received the following message from the Speaker of the National Assembly regarding the approval by the National Assembly of the county government's additional allocations, Senate Bill number 8 of 2025. The message, dated Thursday, 2nd of October 2025, was received in the office of the Clerk of the Senate on the same date. Now, pursuant to Standing Order 46.4, I now report the message. Pursuant to the provisions of Standing Order 41.1 and 142 of the National Assembly Standing Orders, I hereby convey the following message from the National Assembly. Whereas the county government's additional allocations number 2 bill, Senate Bill number 8 of 2025, was published via Kenya Gazette Supplement number 89 of 18th of June 2025 as a bill seeking to provide for additional allocations to county governments for the financial year 2025-2026, the responsibilities of the national government and county governments with respect to such allocations and for connected purposes. And whereas on Tuesday, 30th of September 2025, the National Assembly considered the county government's additional allocations, number 2 bill, Senate Bill number 8 of 2025, and passed it with amendments as contained in the schedule of amendments attached hereto. Now, therefore, in accordance with the provisions of Article 112(1)(b) of the Constitution and Standing Orders 41 and 144 of the National Assembly Standing Orders, I hereby convey the said decision of the National Assembly to the Senate. Now, Honorable Senators, Article 112(1)(b) of the Constitution provides that if one House passes an ordinary bill concerning counties and the second House passes the bill in an amended form, it shall be referred back to the originating House for reconsideration. Honorable Senators, in this regard, I direct that the Standing Committee on Finance and Budget to deliberate on the National Assembly amendments and to report to the Senate. Further, pursuant to Standing Order 165(1) of the Senate Standing Orders, I direct that the National Assembly amendments to the county government's additional allocations number 2 bill, Senate Bill number 8 of 2025, be circulated to all honorable senators. At the appointed time, the Senate Business Committee will schedule the consideration of the amendments in the Committee of the Whole. The House is accordingly guided. Thank you. Next order.
Order number 4, petitions. Order number 5, papers.
The Senate Majority Leader.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I beg to lay the following paper on the table of the Senate today, Tuesday, the 7th of October, 2025. This is a report of the Commission on Revenue Allocation on ONSO's revenue potential and tax gap study of county governments. I thank you, Mr. Speaker.
The Chairperson, Standing Committee on Devolution and Intergovernmental Relations. Or any member of that committee may proceed to lay the paper. Senator Catherine Muma, are you a member of that particular committee?
What happened? Mr. Speaker, sir, I beg to lay the following paper on Senate today, 7th October 2025. Report of the Standing Committee on Devolution and Intergovernmental Relations on its inquiry into commercial bank accounts opened and operated by county assemblies. Chairperson, Standing Committee on Devolution and Intergovernmental Relations.
The Chairperson Standing Committee on Land, Environment and Natural Resources.
Mr. Speaker, sir, I beg to lay the following papers on the table of the Senate to the 7th of October 2025. Number one, report of the Standing Committee on Land, Environment and Natural Resources on a petition to the Senate by Mr. William Kaguro Michael regarding the Changara Water Pan, a World Bank funded project in Busia County. Number two, a report of the Standing Committee on Land, Environment and Natural Resources on a petition to the Senate by Francis Wainaina Njuguna Mbogo concerning historical injustices and illegal alienation of LR number 7153/1, 7153/2, 7153/2R, and also LR number 12825 in Kiambu County. Number three, the report of the Standing Committee on Land, Environment and Natural Resources on a petition to the Senate by James Mwaura Njoroge and other Nyandarua internally displaced persons concerning delayed compensation and occupation of parcels of land. Number four, report of the Standing Committee on Land, Environment and Natural Resources on a petition to the Senate by Wananchi Self-Help Group regarding land ownership dispute of the Wananchi Settlement Scheme in Mwatate constituency in Taita Taveta County. Number five, report of the Standing Committee on Land, Environment and Natural Resources on a petition to the Senate by Mr. Peter Kangwaru Nyaga regarding the plight of landless in Mudandara, Embu County. Number six, report of the Standing Committee on Land, Environment and Natural Resources on a petition to the Senate by Mr. Robin Kalama and other residents of Marungu in Taita Taveta County concerning threatened eviction from their ancestral land by the Holy Rosary Catholic Church Parish, Mwanda. Number seven, report of the Standing Committee on Land, Environment and Natural Resources on a petition to the Senate by the representative of Mwabundusi land squatters in Boraracho Ward in Kisii County concerning delayed allocation of alternative land by way of resettlement and compensation for the ancestral land that was alienated by the government of Kenya for the creation of the Kisii Agricultural Institute and Kisii Farmers Training Center. And number eight, report of the Standing Committee on Land, Environment and Natural Resources on a petition to the Senate by Mr. Anagib Shamsan and others concerning recognition of land ownership rights and redress of historical land injustices in Mombasa County. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I beg to lay.
Next order.
Order number 6, notices of motion.
The Chairperson Standing Committee on Land and Natural Environment and Natural Resources. Senator Faki.
Notice of motion. Report of the Standing Committee on Land, Environment and Natural Resources on a petition to the Senate by Mr. William Kaguro Michael regarding the Changara Water Pan, a World Bank funded project in Busia County. Mr. Speaker, sir, I beg to give notice of the following motion: that the Senate adopts a report of the Standing Committee on Land, Environment and Natural Resources on a petition to the Senate by Mr. William Kaguro Michael regarding the Changara Water Pan, a World Bank funded project in Busia County, laid on the table of the Senate today, Tuesday, 7th of October, 2025.
The Chairperson Standing Committee on Land, again, you have another notice to give.
Notice of motion. Report of the Standing Committee.
Senator Faki, just proceed to give all these notices to your reports.
Okay, thank you,
Not
Mr.
us
Speaker.
calling one.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Report of the Standing Committee on Land, Environment and Natural Resources on a petition to the Senate by Mr. Francis Wainaina Njuguna Mbogo concerning historical land injustices and illegal alienation of LR number 7153/1, 7153/2, 7153/R, also known as LR number 112825 in Kiambu County. Mr. Speaker, sir, I beg to give notice of the following motion, that the Senate adopts the report of the Standing Committee on Land, Environment and Natural Resources on a petition to the Senate by Mr. Francis Wainaina Njuguna Mbogo concerning historical injustices and illegal alienation of LR number 7153-1, 7153-2, 7153-R, and also known as LR number 12825 in Kiambu County, laid on the table of the Senate Tuesday, 7th of October, 2025. Notice of motion, report of the Standing Committee on Land, Environment and Natural Resources on a petition to Senate by Mr. James Mwaura Njoroge and other Nyandarua internal displaced persons, IDPs, concerning delayed compensation and occupation of parcels of land. Mr. Speaker, sir, I beg to give notice of the following motion, that the Senate adopts the report of the Standing Committee on Land, Environment and Natural Resources on a petition to the Senate by Mr. James Mwaura Njoroge and other Nyandarua internally displaced persons, IDPs, concerning delayed compensation and occupation of parcels of land laid on the table of the Senate on Tuesday, 7th of October, 2025. Mr. Speaker, sir, notice of motion, report of the Standing Committee on Land, Environment and Natural Resources on a petition to the Senate by Wananchi Self-Help Group regarding land ownership dispute of the Wananchi Settlement Scheme in Mwatate constituency in Taita Taveta County. Mr. Speaker, sir, I beg to give notice of the following motion, that the Senate adopts the report of the Standing Committee on Land, Environment and Natural Resources on a petition to the Senate by Wananchi Self-Help Group regarding land ownership dispute of the Wananchi Settlement Scheme in Mwatate constituency in Taita Taveta County, laid on the table of the Senate on Tuesday, 7th of October, 2025. Notice of motion, report of the Standing Committee on Land, Environment and Natural Resources on a petition to the Senate by Mr. Peter Kangwaru Nyaga regarding the plight of the landless in Mudangara, Embu County. Mr. Speaker, sir, I beg to give notice of the following motion, that the Senate adopts the report of the Standing Committee on Land, Environment and Natural Resources on a petition to the Senate by Mr. Peter Kangwaru Nyaga regarding the plight of the landless in Mudandara, Embu County, laid on the table of the Senate on Tuesday, 7th of October, 2025. Mr. Speaker, sir, notice of motion, report of the Standing Committee on Lands, Environment and Natural Resources on a petition to the Senate by Mr. Robin Kalam and others, residents of Marungu in Taita Taveta County, concerning threatened eviction from their ancestral land by the Holy Rosary Catholic Parish in Mwanda. Mr. Speaker, sir, I beg to give a notice of the following motion, that the Senate adopts the report of the Standing Committee on Land, Environment and Natural Resources on a petition to the Senate by Mr. Robin Kalam and other residents of Marungu in Taita Taveta County concerning threatened eviction from their ancestral land by the Holy Rosary Catholic Parish, Mwanda, laid on the table of the Senate on Tuesday, 7th of October, 2025. Mr. Speaker, sir, notice of motion, report of the Standing Committee on Lands, Environment and Natural Resources on a petition to the Senate by Representative Mwabundusi, land squatters in Buraracho ward in Kisii County, concerning delayed allocation of alternative land. Mr. Speaker, sir, I beg to give notice of the following motion, that the Senate adopts the report of the Standing Committee on Land, Environment and Natural Resources on a petition to the Senate by representatives of Mwabundusi, land squatters in Buraracho ward in Kisii County, concerning delayed allocation of alternative land by way of resettlement or compensation for the ancestral land that was alienated by the government of Kenya for the creation of Kisii Agricultural Institute and Kisii Farmers Training Center, laid on the table of the Senate on Tuesday, 7th of October, 2025. Notice of motion, report of the Standing Committee on Land, Environment and Natural Resources on a petition to the Senate by Mr. Nagib Shamsan and other petitioners concerning recognition of land ownership rights and redress of historical injustices in Mombasa County. Mr. Speaker, sir, I beg to give the notice of the following motion, that the Senate adopts the report of the Standing Committee on Land, Environment and Natural Resources on a petition to the Senate by Mr. Nagib Shamsan and others concerning recognition of land ownership rights and redress of historical injustices in Mombasa County, laid on the table of the Senate on Tuesday, 7th of October, 2025. I thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Now, before I call the next order, I've just been informed that the governor of Busia County is in the chamber. Governor, you may stand so that you may be acknowledged by the Senate. Thank you. Okay. Next order, clerk.
Order number 7, questions and statements.
Statement pursuant to Standing Order 53-1, the Senator for Vihiga County, the Honorable Godfrey Osotsi.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Arise pursuant to Standing Order 53-1 Committee on Transport, Public Works and Housing on a matter of county-wide concern regarding the county. Mr. Speaker, sir, there is an ongoing effort to expand Kisumu-Busia Highway as part of an international highway, which is indeed welcome for the economic growth and improved connectivity between the two countries. And it promises between the two regions, which promises economic development and integration between the two countries. While we support the importance of modern infrastructure, the manner which it's being implemented has translated into inhumane affront to the economic and social rights enshrined in Article 43 of the Constitution. The forceful eviction of traders at Luanda Market raises grave concerns as it is affecting the lives of many Kenyans, not just from Vihiga County, but all other neighboring counties, Kisumu, Siaya, Busia, and Kakamega, who deserve protection under the law. Hundreds of small-scale entrepreneurs who have been depending on this market for decades were displaced without offering them conducive alternative sites. The sudden demolition of their stalls and trading spaces has not only disrupted economic activity in the town, but also the future of both who depend on earnings from the market. This raises serious concern regarding compensation, relocation arrangement, and the level of consultation undertaken, especially with the stakeholders and the county government of Vihiga. In the statement, the committee should address the following issues. Number one, whether the land or the spaces in question lie within a road reserve or it is a public market legally recognized by the county government of Vihiga and the law. Two, whether the Kenya National Highway Authority, KENHA, has a legal redress mechanism available for processing complaints from affected persons. Number three, whether KENHA undertook adequate and extensive community sensitization and stakeholder engagement, particularly with the affected traders, as well as the involvement of local leadership as required under Article 232(1)(d) of the Constitution of Kenya. CBS, MP, Senator.
Andrew Omtata.
Mr. Speaker, sir, I have three statements and I request that I read projects. Mr. Speaker, sir, I rise pursuant to Standing Order 53-1 to seek a statement from the Standing Committee on Roads, Transportation and Housing on a matter of inter-county concern regarding the proposed. This is a transformative 487-kilometer road network intended to traverse Busia, Siaya, Kisumu, Homa Bay, and Migori counties by crossing the Ala Swamp and encircling Lake Victoria. First studied in 1986-87, the project is envisioned to spur ecotourism, expand the blue economy through fishing and aquaculture, and open historically marginalized areas to trade and cross-border commerce with Uganda and Tanzania. In the statement, the committee should address the following: whether the Ministry of Roads and Transport has updated the 1986 feasibility study to reflect current social, economic, and environmental realities, and, if not, when such a review will be undertaken. 2, the current estimated cost, funding sources, and implementation timeline for the project. 3, measures to safeguard the Yala Swamp ecosystem and guarantee sustainable resource management during construction and operation. 4, the extent of consultation with local communities and county governments, including mechanisms to ensure equitable sharing of economic benefits and public participation in any design changes. 5, the project's role in strengthening regional trade and with Uganda and Tanzania, as well as the structures in place to guarantee transparency, accountability, and timely completion of the project. Senator Andrew Mtata, MP, Senator from Busia, 1st October 2025. My second request for a statement is on the operationalization of the Mulwanda border point in Samia sub-county in Busia County. Mr. Speaker, sir, I rise pursuant to Standing Order 53 Clause 1 to seek a statement from the Standing Committee on National Security, Defense, and Foreign Relations on a matter of regional concern regarding the long overdue operationalization of the Mulwanda border point in Samia sub-county in Busia County. Mr. Speaker, sir, in the year 2009, the late President Mwai Kibaki declared Mulwanda the third official Kenya-Uganda border crossing point in Busia County. This pledge was reaffirmed by President William Ruto in the year 2023 and the Prime Cabinet Secretary, the Honorable Musalia Mudavadi, in 2025. However, the border point remains ungazetted and non-operational. Mr. Speaker, operationalizing Mulwanda border point would boost customs revenue, create jobs, improve cross-border services and infrastructure, grow local enterprises, and strengthen Kenya's trade position within the East African community. Its continued dormancy denies the nation these economic and integration benefits. In the statement, the committee should address the following. 1, the reasons for non-implementation of the presidential directives of the year 2009 and the year 2023 regarding the Mulwanda border point to date, including whether any performance indicators were established. 2, whether there have been any budgetary allocations for the said border point, and if so, outline itemized annual allocations and expenditures for the same from the financial year 2009 to 2010 to date. 3, steps taken to engage the Ugandan government regarding the boundary alignment and cross-border cooperation for the said border point. 4, the county-level planning and budgeting activities in place to support roads, markets, or utilities around the border point. Signed Senator Mutata Koiti, MP, Senator from Busia, 30th September 2025. My third and final request for statement is on irregularities surrounding the Busia Green Park project. Mr. Speaker, sir, I rise pursuant to Standing Order 53, Clause 1, to seek a statement from the Standing Committee on Land, Environment, and Natural Resources on a matter of county-wide concern regarding the irregularities surrounding the Busia Green Park project. Mr. Speaker, sir, the Busia Green Park project initially allocated Kenya shillings 8 million, which was later revised to Kenya shillings 6 million, was intended to serve as the town. Despite its strategic role in urban beautification and environmental conservation, the site remains closed to the public, with kiosks now under construction. County planning documents regarding the project are contradictory, with one claiming that the park is complete, while another states that no, raising serious concerns over transparency. The rationale behind revising the budget allocation from 8 million to 6 million, including items like planning and implementation of the project Clause 1, Paragraph D, in the county strategic framework plan and the 2025-2026. The reason for the contradictory information between the county strategic framework plan 2025-2026 and the annual development plan 2025-2026. The identity of the authority that sanctioning such changes. 5. Measures in place to safeguard public land from encroachment, land grabbing, or unauthorized private development within Busia County. 6. The details of the project, including the initial timeline for completion, whether due process was followed in tendering and procurement. Senator Andrew Mtato Koiti, MP, Senator from Busia County, 1st October 2025. Thank you, Mr. Speaker, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, sir. I request for a statement on child labor and exploitation in pursuant to Standing Order 53-1 to seek a statement from the Standing Committee national concern regarding the alarming rise of child labor and the growing number of street children in cities and towns countrywide. Mr. Speaker, sir, children as young as 7 years old around are working as hawkers and vendors, often forced in the streets and into this exploitative trade by parents, abuse and long life harm, contrary to Article 53 of the Constitution, which guarantees children protection from abuse and exploitative labor and the right to parental care and education. In the statement, the committee should address the following. 1. The steps taken by the relevant ministries, including Gender, Culture and Children's Services, Interior and National Administration, and education to eliminate child labor and ensure all children are enrolled and retained in schools. 2, whether there is an ongoing mapping of street children across major cities and towns. If so, the fund sizes. Number 3, measures being implemented to rehabilitate these children and provide them with safe homes, as well as reintegrating them into education and society. Number 4, interventions to hold accountable those who exploit or force children into labor, including parents, guardians, and employers. Number 5, policies or programs in place to strengthen social protection for vulnerable families so that poverty does not continue to push children onto the streets. Thank you.
Senator Seki. Senator Seki.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Request for a statement on the proposed sale of shares in East African Portland Cement to Kalahari Cement Limited. Honorable Speaker, I rise pursuant to Standing Order 53-1 to seek a statement from the Standing Committee on Trade, Industrialization and Tourism on the matter of national concerns regarding the proposed sale of significant stake in East Africa Portland Cement to Kalahari Cement Limited. Honorable Speaker, the East African Portland Cement, one of the Kenya oldest cement factory, is a strategic national asset that has historically contributed to infrastructure development, industrial growth, and employment creation. The company is partly government-owned, with a big public investment through the National Security Fund, NSSF. Kalahari Cement Limited has entered into a binding agreement to acquire approximately 29.2% of the authorized shares of East Africa Portland, currently held by Cement Holding, by Cementia Holdings AG and Associated International Cement Limited, both subsidiaries of the Holcim Group, which is affiliated to Bamburi Cement Company. If concluded, the deal will result to Kalahari Cement through its association with Bamburi Cement, controlling a combination of 41.7% stake in East African Portland Cement. This proposed sale raises significant concern with respect to transparency, governance, and public accountability. In the statement, the committee should address the following: the due diligence undertaken in the proposed sale and the safeguard to protect the shares and interest of key stakeholders, including the National Security Fund, NSSF, taxpayers, and employees. 2, whether public participations and stakeholders' engagement, as stipulated in Article 232(1)(d) of the Constitution, has been undertaken in the proposed sale of such magnitude, given the significant government stakeholding in East African Portland Cement. Measures being taken to secure the livelihood of employees and mitigate potential jobs losses and resulting from the plan. 4, to the extent of Bamburi Cement interest and influence of the proposed transaction through its affiliations with Holcim Group and association with Kalahari Cement. Steps the government is taking to ensure that strategic national assets are managed transparently to protect the national interest and enhance accountability and fair competition, especially in the cement industry. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Now, Honorable Senators, I will allow comments for not more than 15 minutes. Senator Ledama. Senator Osotsi. Certainly you're not there when I was reading the guidelines on how you should, on what to do to catch the speaker's eye. You raise your hand. Don't switch on your microphone. Just raise your hand. Proceed.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I rise to support the statement by the distinguished Senator, Senator Otsotsi, on the forceful eviction of traders at Luanda Market in Vihiga County. Mr. Speaker, there is a balance between development and ownership of property. There is also a balance between private property and public property. I've listened to the statement which has been raised by my colleague, and it raises serious concerns that we must be able to address. The highway between Kisumu, Vihiga, Busia, all the way to Uganda is very, very important for the development of our region. Now, every county, Mr. Speaker, all the 47 counties, a lot of our traders occupy land which is public land, land that is owned by the Kenya National Highway Authority. The issues that are raised in this statement, Mr. Speaker, are important issues that when they are looked into, the question of ownership is definitely going to be unique, because I've seen the issues that have been raised with Senator, which of course I'd like to get more details on it. One, which is very important, is whether the land in question lies within the road reserve. Mr. Speaker, when this matter happened, there was a lot of drama, particularly in Maseno, where people came in and they said that the last time that Kenya gave notice that traders would be evicted from the road reserve was back in 2018. So the question is, at what point should we agree as county governments to be able to build markets that our people can actually be able to move in? Because if we want development, should we honestly, as defenders of devolution, be asking, or should we be emotive in the matter of when traders are moved from the highway? Mr. Speaker, when you drive on this road, coming all the way from where we are staying, and I'm so happy that we have come to Busia today, you will find a long, long, long line of trucks that are waiting to clear, for them to be able to clear to get into Uganda. Should we honestly be asking whether it is humane for traders to trade in road reserve, or should we be asking the big question is what county governments are doing to be able to accommodate these traders, or maybe even divert the traffic route from the main highway? Mr. Speaker, these are very, very important questions that we must ask. I know we represent our people and we want to support our people. So find a balance between development, accepting redevelopment of our country, and also maintaining the mediocrity of allowing, I want to reiterate on, is whether the Kenya National Highway Authority has a legal redress mechanism available for processing complaints from the affected person. Mr. Speaker, yes, we have to be humane. But ask yourself one question. If today I come and I decide to build my stall in front of your building, and it is your private property, should I actually be putting a mechanism in place to be able to address your concerns, yet you are the one who have encroached in my land and territory, in my private place? So let us not kid ourselves. We have to ask. When the Right Honorable Raila Odinga was the Cabinet Secretary or the Minister for Transport, and he was he made serious decisions to be able to expand the Mombasa Highway. People went to court. You know, people brought a lot of concern. The same thing applies to the Red Hill Road that goes all the way to Nyari, to Village Market. People were bitter. In fact, there are people who are still in court until today. But everyone today in our generation is very happy that that happened, because the transport, the distance between Nairobi and Mombasa was reduced. Those people who live in Mombasa, in Machakos County, you can now get to Machakos within 17 minutes of the express highway. So as we come into our counties and we raise concern, the big question that we must raise is, what do we need to do to be able to address and accommodate every trader along the highway? And the question is very simple, and I'd like the committee, when they are looking at this matter, to proceed and look at the issue of whether the county governments of Vihiga, Kisumu, and Busia have gazetted public markets, and whether those markets have been assigned to individuals, not road reserves. In fact, this is an opportunity, Mr. Speaker, for us to call upon every county government to move expeditiously and remove everybody who has occupied road reserves. Let us leave roads reserved for them to become areas of expansion. We are growing. Mr. Speaker, we now have a population clocking about 60 million in this country.
You've got less than a minute, Honorable
With 60 million, Mr. Speaker, thank you. We have to be realistic, unfortunately. Let us call a spade a spade. Let's leave road reserved for the expansions of our roads so that we can enhance trade, particularly in this region, Mr. Speaker, as I conclude. We want to make it easy for us to trade between Uganda and Kenya. It is wrong in the 21st century, in 2025, that we still have a long queue of trucks waiting to be cleared because even the road is very small. So, Mr. Speaker, I support the statement, but I wish the committee would go further and get into the hidden questions that are hid in this statement.
Senator Catherine Muma. Now, senators wishing to speak will do so under 3 minutes.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, for that opportunity to speak. Mr. Speaker, I would request that you indulge me with 2 minutes to just say something about being in Busia. You are welcomed by Senator Khalwale and Senator Osotsi, and Senator Khalwale did not acknowledge that I come from this region. This is a predominant culture in this area. Sometimes they don't see the women. But I want to confirm that I am a daughter of Western Kenya and I come from this region. Honorable Speaker, I also wish to add that he also standards, human standards, he did not acknowledge that this is the, and Uganda, everybody knows that the most humble leader we ever had in this country, political leader, is Uncle Moody Awori. Honorable Speaker, he also failed to acknowledge the Honorable Julia Ojambo,
Honorable Catherine Muma, tomorrow of this region. So you'll have an opportunity. They've been invited. They will be here, and we will be celebrating them as they watch. So
thank you, Honorable Speaker. I really appreciate me, but allow me to just say a little something little about.
Is the distinguished Senator Catherine Muma in order to misrepresent facts? If indeed
she's a daughter of this community, and which I know she is, Mr. Speaker.
Now, what standing order?
105, Mr. Speaker. If indeed she's a daughter of this community, and I do agree that she's a daughter of this community, why is she misrepresenting facts? In this community, once you get married, Mr. Speaker, in this community, once you get married, you cease being the community. You belong, Mr. Speaker, you belong to the community where you are married.
Order, Honorable Senator Boni. Senator Boni, just take your seat. Thank you. Take your seat. Order, Honorable Senators. Order. Honorable Senators, order. Order, Honorable Senators. Order, Honorable Senators. Order. Now, Honorable Senators, you are disorderly and your shouting will not address the issue that has been raised. Now, Honorable Boni Halwale, if you read the Constitution, yes, it actually accommodates customary practices and values. But those that are repugnant are not acknowledged. So,
thank you, Mr. Speaker.
So it is the ruling of the chair that particular culture, to the extent that it offends. Order, Senator for Nairobi Speaker. Order, Honorable Senator. Let me hear the Senator for Nairobi City Council. And you're not on a point of order, you're just trying to, I've allowed you to make your intervention. Because I can see you're from this area and you're hurt by the statement.
Chair, I just wanted to warn that you are waddling into a very dangerous territory, because I do not think that culturally you have powers to determine what is culturally right amongst the people of Mulembe. Honorable Speaker, with due respect, when we come to the Mijikenda, then maybe you are an elder there, together with... but on this one, I think it's dangerous territory, because the next thing I'll be told that my wife does not belong to me, Honorable Speaker, she belongs somewhere else. Yes. I think let the elder Khalwale guide us on this one.
Now, Honorable Senators, for purposes of this sitting, and for purposes of these proceedings, we will go by the assertion by the Honorable Catherine Muma, that indeed she's a daughter of this region. So proceed. She has temporarily relocated to another region, but she remains a daughter of this region. Proceed, Honorable Catherine.
Mr. Speaker, thank you so much for respecting the Constitution of Kenya. I am sure the elders in Western Kenya are watching, and they will be appalled that anybody can purport to speak for them in the manner in which Honorable Khalwale has done. Be that as it may be, I was saying Julia Odhiambo was the first female African student, University of Nairobi. She was the first Kenyan woman to join Harvard University. She was the first African woman to receive a PhD from the University of Nairobi. She was the first woman assistant minister in Kenya, first female member of parliament from Western Kenya, and she also ran as vice president for Kalonzo Musyoka. Of course, the men will never recognize that. So allow me to do this. Honorable Speaker, I now want to contribute to two of the statements. One of the statements, Honorable Speaker, please protect me. I want to speak to two of my time, surely. Honorable Halwale took all my time. Honorable Speaker, I want to speak to the issue of Mluanda border point raised by Honorable Omtata. I would want to call on the Senate to help us to strengthen the intergovernmental relations between national government and county government, I believe Busia County, being a border county, is one such county where we should actually model better intergovernmental relations. For instance, 40% of patients in the Busia hospitals come from Uganda, come from Southern Sudan and elsewhere. And a number of the other services actually used by people across the border. This would have been a good place for us to be able to demonstrate a good intergovernmental relations where we have cooperation, for instance, with the Ministry of Health, to put a strong referral hospital here, to put a strong mechanism to guard against pandemics because of cross-border movement, and also, therefore, what Honorable Mutata is talking about in terms of the border point is an important issue that I request that the Senate fully takes up to deal with. I also finally want to contribute to the statement by Senator Miraj on child labor. Honorable Speaker, I think we have dropped the ball in relation to our children. Children aged 24 and below are 59% of this country. When it comes to 35 and below, 70%. We have young 10-year-olds hawking everywhere in the streets. We don't know who's dealing with this. I want to request again, this is a multi-sectoral issue. We must remember the issue of children is not issue the way it is being treated to.
Senator Oburu Odinga.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, sir, I rise to make a comment on the statement sought by Honorable Kia Mutata on the ring road around Lake Victoria. Mr. Speaker, sir, this is a road which is long overdue. Mr. Speaker, speaking about this road started immediately after independence. And Mr. Speaker, the road was supposed to be accomplished with a comprehensive irrigation scheme which was to go around the lake, and we were supposed to tap the lake, the waters from Lake Victoria, and pump it up on the hillocks and bring it down to do irrigation so that we would have a permanent food reserve in our area. Our area was supposed to be a food reserve for the whole of the country, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, when Raila Odinga, my brother, was a minister of roads, they proposed this road, and we went around the whole of East Africa. Mr. Speaker, I was that time chairman of Finance Committee of the National Assembly, and this road is not only for Kenya. This road is supposed to go around Tanzania and Uganda, and we went round, we drove. This road, once it is opened, Mr. Speaker, it will open up development in the whole of the lake region, and it will connect the three countries. And Mr. Speaker, the World Bank was ready to fund this road, the development of this road. The only hindrance we have to the development of this road in Kenya, particularly, Mr. Speaker, is greed. People who are land grabbers, when they hear that a road is supposed to pass in a certain area, they go and buy it quickly from unsuspecting wananchi, and then quickly now raise the price so that it cannot happen, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, this is what has also made it difficult for Kenya to acquire the pipeline, which was supposed to come from Uganda through to Kenya and connect to ours. Mr. Speaker, this is because Honorable Speaker, because just in the next 3 weeks we'll be hosting all the county assemblies, Mr. Speaker, and I really encourage senators to participate. They have their ball games in Meru from the, I think, the 23rd. I was in discussion with the honorable speakers, and really they want also senators to participate. But Mr. Speaker, even I've been with you since yesterday, and we have really enjoyed our stay here. Mr. Speaker, one other thing that I have really noticed in this community is they have enough food, a lot of food. And therefore, Mr. Speaker, because of the goal of the Kenya Kwanza government is to provide and to have enough food security. I want to thank the leadership of this county for they have really assisted the government to make sure that we have food for this country. Mr. Speaker, the road from Busia, from Vihiga to here, Mr. Speaker, is very dilapidated. Even before the dual college way is done, Mr. Speaker, the Kenya National Highways Authority should come with speed and repair that road. The potholes are extensive, and Mr. Speaker, because of the trucks, accidents are really inevitable, Mr. Speaker. So, Mr. Speaker, I did also want to encourage Senator Ososi to talk to your leadership, and as fast as possible, remove people from the road itself so that you can get a better road. Because the best thing is not to complain. If the government has given you a super highway and a highway, remove people from the road reserve so that the road can be constructed. I think nobody should live on the road reserves. And you are delaying the service. People from Vihiga, people in Busia want to enjoy that road, Mr. Speaker. So Senator So's leading the way and make sure that the road is cleared so that development can be done by the Kenya Kwanza government before the 2027 elections are held, Honorable Speaker. Thank you.
Senator Enoch Wambo.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I want to begin by thanking the beautiful daughter of the Luya community, Senator Muma, who is also a loved wife of the community of Senator Kajwang. I want to thank Mr. Speaker for recognizing the exemplary demonstration of true leadership by His Excellency Dr. Stephen Kalonzo Musyoka when he ran for president and nominated Professor Julia Odhiambo as his running mate. The Speaker, I don't want to be seen to be anticipating debate, but tomorrow when Professor Julia Odhiambo appears, the Speaker will be seeking the attention of the chair to say a few things about Professor Julia Odhiambo. Having said that, the Speaker, I want to comment on the statement on the Kenya National Highways Authority and the relocation of the traders along the road reserves. The Speaker, we can argue and debate that matter. But the Speaker, of greater importance to me, because I've just come from a sitting of the County Public Accounts Committee of Busia, where we have so many trucks parked right outside this assembly, the Speaker. This county government is not allowed to collect fees from these trucks transiting through the county and then interfering with the business of this business, Speaker. The Speaker, I think as a Senate, one of the things that I would encourage us to do, maybe through the area senator, is to find a way of the county government of Busia to get some cash, some revenue from these trucks, Mr. Speaker. A simple calculation. I've seen that they've said they have 1,800 trucks transiting through this county headquarters every day. If they were to charge only 1,000 shillings of transit fee, that would be 1.8 million Kenya shillings every day, translating to 54 million Kenya shillings in a month and 648 million Kenya shillings in a year. So, Speaker, one of the things that we always say about county governments
is that we blame them for not looking for revenue streams, for own source revenue. Mr. Speaker, point of order. What's out of order now? So, Mr. Speaker,
what is your point of order, Senator, for now?
Can you just wait for people to debate?
I'm sorry, but I have to raise understanding order number 1 of 5 on the statement of facts. The Constitution is quite clear on the kind of taxes that county governments can collect and the taxes that the national government can collect. If the distinguished senator is now asking Busia County to charge truckers here, what will Kisumu do? What will Eldoret do? So by the time your businesses are working here, all the way to Nairobi, truckers will be paying millions of shillings. Is that really what we want to do? So, Mr. Speaker, the Constitution is clear. County governments can only collect stipulated revenues, which are also transferred to the County Government Finance Act. So let us not confuse the country. So is the distinguished senator in order to mislead the nation that Vihiga or Busia County can actually charge truckers moving from Uganda to Nairobi?
Senator Olekina, your point of order is overruled. The county governments under Schedule 4, they can charge for parking fees. Any truck wishing to park within the county government, they'll pay parking fees. Senator Enoch, proceed to conclude your remarks.
Mr. Speaker, you know, it's a good thing when a senator admits laziness. Because I just said, Mr. Speaker, we should find innovative ways of helping the county government of Busia to collect some revenue from these trucks. Mr. Speaker, truth be told, these trucks, they interfere with business in Busia town. Truth be told. Mr. Speaker, Mr. Speaker,
Order,
Mr. Speaker.
Senators, may the senator for Kitui be heard in silence. Proceed.
Mr. Speaker,
less than a minute.
Mr. Speaker, you know, I have not made a ruling. I'm just making I'm giving an opinion. So if you find my opinion not palatable, when you get your chance, give your opinion. Maybe you don't even have an opinion now, Senator Mr. Speaker, the second issue was on the sale of strategic investment in the name of the Portland cement, the East African Portland cement. Mr. Speaker, we must find a way of taming this appetite to sell our strategic investments.
Yes. Unfortunately, the honourable senator had long concluded his issue. Senator, Majority Leader, what is your intervention?
To the House, in the sense that I know the clerk's office is working on the communication, but at SBC this morning, you know, we made a decision that this matter, which I see colleagues are very passionate about, on the issue of the Busia border and Malaba, shall actually be discussed here extensively via motion, because the trade committee visited both station and the cohesion, and therefore tomorrow morning we have a motion to discuss this matter extensively. So I wanted the House to be in the know. There's no need to trade barbs at this point. We shall have sufficient time tomorrow morning. And also, lastly, Mr. Speaker, I hope later you shall inform the House of what time we shall be visiting that station before the House resumes tomorrow morning. I thank you.
It's true what the Majority Leader has just indicated. This matter was extensively discussed at the SBC, and it was found proper that a substantive motion be brought tomorrow, so that honorable senators will have an opportunity to discuss this substantively. And again, we also indicated during that meeting that for honorable senators to be in a position to debate that motion effectively, they need to understand the workings of the border post, and therefore it has been agreed that tomorrow between 7:30 a.m. to 9 a.m., senators will have an opportunity beyond the two committees that have visited there. The entire House will have an opportunity to go to the border post, so that as you debate the motion tomorrow, you will be debating on a point of knowledge. Senator Veronica.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker, for this opportunity. I want to give a comment on the statement that has been brought to this House by Senator Miraj on the children who are in our streets in different counties in Kenya. And I want to specifically comment on the children, the status of the children in Busia County. Honorable Speaker, unfortunately, beyond the children who are on the streets, the problem is more complex. They are not only being given child labor from the streets, they are also being burdened with responsibility, parental responsibility of taking care of infants when they are between the age of 11, even 10 years. We have found pregnant teenagers in Busia County numbering about 4,562 or something thereabouts, that number of teenagers who are having to handle infants at their very tender age, Honorable Speaker. It is unfortunate that we are no longer considering as communities what is the best interest of these children. Children don't just land in the streets. We must ask ourselves, and as this committee is looking into this complex issue, we must answer the question of where are these children who are landing in the streets coming from? Are they coming from broken families? Are they coming from situations where Honorable Speaker has rendered these children to survive on the streets, trying to raise income that they need, Honorable Speaker? What are the schools doing about the children who are falling out of school? We might reach a situation where every county government will have to now take account for the children within their counties who are on the streets, Honorable Speaker. In the best interest of children, Honorable Speaker, it will be befitting for this Senate to consider that complex question, because where are these children who are in the streets going to be 5 years from now, when they turn into teenagers, when they turn 18? What does this society expect these children to turn out to be? Are we waiting for children to turn into small gangsters and eventually turn into the huge gangs you might find on the streets, Honorable Speaker? And yet when these questions are raised, they sound simple, they sound as though they should not be given a lot of attention. If you look at the debate which has been raised in this House today, I believe highways are important, infrastructure is important, but the family unit and the welfare of children and the people of Kenya is equally very important. If you look at the number of senators who are commenting on the highway, and unfortunately the male gender, yet they are the fathers of these children who are on the streets, you will find them more interested in the roads. They are not interested in the cohesion in family. Time has come, Honorable Speaker, for this House to have a committee called Gender and Family Committee.
There's nothing disorderly in that.
To sort out the issues, Honorable Speaker, to sort out the issues we have in this nation. It will be important for Parliament to have a committee known as Gender and Family Committee. We look at the issues that are broken down in the family. Honorable Speaker, all these issues will be resolved. We will be able to resolve our roads when we resolve the family matters.
Your time is up, Honorable. No, unfortunately not. Now, Honorable Senators, we have gone beyond the 15 minutes that I had indicated. Honorable Senators, we have done double of the time I had earlier indicated. We will therefore rest it at that. However, before I allow the clerk to call this next order, I'd wish to confirm that Honorable Raphael Wanjala, Member of Parliament for Budalangi constituency, is in the House. Honorable, thank you. Also, Honorable Mary Emase, Member of Parliament for Teso South, is in the House. And also Honorable Geoffrey Mulanya, Member of Parliament for Nambale constituency. Honorable Members of Parliament, welcome to the Senate plenary. Now, Honorable Senators, at this juncture, allow me to rearrange today's order paper pursuant to Standing Order 45-2. We will now proceed to order number 9. Order number 9. So I will ask the clerk to call that order.
Order number 9, motion, report of the Standing Committee on Finance and Budget on the county government's equitable share cash disbursement schedule for financial year 2025-2026 division.
Sergeant at Arms, can you ring the division bell for 2 minutes?
The quorum bell is now ringing at the Senate this afternoon, following the directives by the Speaker of the Senate, Honorable Amason Kingi, who has directed the Sergeant at Arms to ring the quorum bell for 2 minutes rather, for the House to consider the report of the Standing Committee on Finance and Budget on the county government's equitable share cash disbursement schedule for the financial year 2025-2026. The debate on this motion being a motion that is seeking to have the Senate adopt the report of the Standing Committee on the county government's equitable share cash disbursement for the financial year 2025-2026 has already been concluded upon. The committee laid its report on the table of the Senate on the 24th day of September 2025, and that pursuant to Section 17, Subsection 7 of the Public Finance Management Act and Standing Orders 189, Subsection 3, the Senate approves the county government's equitable share of the disbursement schedule for the financial year 2025-2026. Upon the lapse of that quorum bell that has been allocated 2 minutes, the House will be voting on this motion. An additional 4 minutes have been given, and this 4 minutes leeway is for senators who have stepped outside the County Assembly's chamber in Busia County, where the Senate well, that division bell is an alert to senators within Busia County Assembly presence to make their way back into the chambers, where the Senate will be considering its plenary business for the better part of this week, this being the inaugural sitting of the Senate in Busia County. On this very first day, the House has already deliberated on a number of business before the senators, among them being the issue of transport along the Malaba border, the institution of family, with senators raising a number of issues that they will want the committees, the respective committees where these statements have been directed to address. But at this particular juncture, the Senate is considering the report of the Standing Committee on Finance and Budget on the county government's equitable share cash disbursement schedule for the financial year 2025-2026. The House will shortly be voting on this motion to adopt the proposals in the report. And remember, this is the report that is proposing the equitable share of revenue to different counties.
Senator Tams, kindly close the door and draw the bar. Now, honorable senators, voting shall be by roll call. I know you are used to the one that we vote and under 1 minute we are done, but this one will be manual because we'll do it by roll call. And therefore we will need the tellers, a teller for the nays and a teller for the yes. Senator Miraj will be the teller for the yes, for the ayes, and Senator Montet will be the teller for the nays. Kindly take your positions before I put the question. Thank you. I will now proceed to put the question that the Senate adopts the report of the Standing Committee on Finance and Budget on the county government's equitable share cash disbursement schedule for financial year 2025-2026, laid on the table of the Senate on Wednesday, 24th of September 2025, and that pursuant to Section 17(7) of the Public Finance Management Act and Standing Order 189.3, the Senate approved the county government's equitable share cash disbursement schedule for financial year 2025-2026. Now, the clerk is going to call the names of the senators in alphabetical order. Clerk, you may proceed.
Senator Abbas Sheikh Mohammed, Wajir County. Senator Adan Dulo Fatuma, Isiolo County. Senator Boy Isa Juma, Kwale County. Senator Cherarke Samson, Nandi County.
Mr. Speaker, sir, I vote. Is it yes? Yes, I vote yes.
Senator Cheriot Aaron Kipkirui, Kericho County.
Mr. Speaker, Kericho votes yes.
Senator Chesang Alan Kiprotich, Trans Nzoia County. Senator Chute Mohammed Said, Marsabit County. Senator Ekomwa James Lomenen, Turkana County. Senator Haji Abdul Mohamed, Garissa County. Senator Kajwang Moses Otieno, Homa Bay County.
Mr. Speaker, I vote yes.
Senator Kamau Joseph Githuku, Lamu County.
Mr. Speaker, I vote yes.
Senator Kathuri Murungi, Meru County.
Honorable Speaker, I vote yes.
Senator Keroche Tabitha Karanja, Nakuru County. Senator Halwale Boni, Kakamega County.
Mr. Speaker, I vote yes.
Senator Kisang William Kipkemoi, Elgeyo Marakwet County.
Good. Elgeyo Marakwet County votes yes. Honorable Speaker.
Senator Lelegwe Stephen Lutumbesi. Senator Lelegwe Steve Lutumbesi, Samburu County. Senator Maanzo Daniel Kitonga, Makwiny County. Senator Mazayo Stewart Mwachiru, Kilifi County. Senator Mandago Jackson Kiplagat, Uasin Gishu County.
Honorable Speaker, I vote yes.
Senator Medhu John Mohea, Nyandarua County.
Mr. Speaker, on behalf of Nyandarua, I vote yes.
Senator Mogeni Eric Okongo, Nyamira County. Senator Mundigi Alexander Munyi, Embu County.
Madam Speaker, Embu County vote yes.
Senator Mungatana Danson Buya, Tana River County.
Mr. Speaker, Tana River votes yes. Thank you.
Senator Murango James Kamau, Kirinyaga County. Senator Mudhama Agnes Kavindu, Machakos County.
Mr. Speaker, on behalf of Machakos County, I vote yes.
Senator Mwaruma Jones Mwashushe, Taita Taveta County.
Mr. Speaker, I vote yes.
Senator Mwenda Gataya Mofaya, Tharaka Nithi County.
Mr. Speaker, Tharaka Nithi votes yes.
Senator Mwinyi Haji Mohamed Faki, Mombasa County.
Mr. Speaker, sir, the Mombasa votes yes.
Senator Nderito John Kenywa, Laikipia County.
Mr. Speaker, I vote yes.
Senator Nyoto Joe, Murang'a County. Senator Ojienda Odhiambo Tom, Kisumu County. Senator Oginga Oburu, Siaya County.
Mr. Speaker, sir, Siaya County votes yes.
Senator Okech Eddie Gicheru, Migori County. Senator Okoiti Andrew Omtata, Busia County.
Busia County votes yes.
Senator Olekina Ledama, Narok County.
Mr. Speaker, on behalf of the people of Narok, I vote yes.
Senator Onyonka Richard Momoima, Kisii County. Senator Osotsi Godfrey Atieno, Vihiga County.
Mr. Speaker, the great people of Vihiga vote yes.
Senator Recha Julius Murgor, West Pokot County.
Mr. Speaker, West Pokot votes yes.
Senator Roba Ali Ibrahim, Mandera County.
Mr. Speaker, on behalf of Mandera County, I vote yes.
Senator Seki Lenku Olekanar, Kajiado County.
Honorable Speaker, people of Kajiado vote yes.
Senator Sifuna Edwin Watenya, Nairobi County.
Honorable Speaker, I vote yes.
Senator Dhangwa Paul Karungo, Kiambu County. Senator Wafula David Wakoli, Bungoma County.
Kwa niaba ya watu wa Bungoma na mamlaka walionipa, napiga ndio.
Senator Wakili Hilary Kiprotich Sigei. Senator Wamatinga Wahome, Nyeri County. Senator Wambua Enoch Kio, Kitui County.
Mr. Speaker, for and on behalf of the people of Kitui County, I vote yes. Nikuseme.
Now, Honorable Senators, the result of the division on order number 9, the results are as follows. Ayes are 26 votes, nays 0 and abstention 0. So the ayes have it. Now, Sergeant at Arms, you may now withdraw the bar and open the doors. Honorable Senators, we will move to order number 8. Order number 8. Clerk, kindly read that order.
Order number 8, motion, report of the Standing Committee on Devolution and Intergovernmental Relations on a petition to the Senate by Mr. Japheth Makoha, the Executive Director of the Impact CBO, to amend the County Governments Act 2012 on the mandate of the county governors assigning portfolio of a county executive committee member to the deputy governors. Question to be put.
Now, honorable senators, the debate on this particular order had been concluded. What was remaining was the putting of the question. Clerk, do we have the requisite number of honorable senators? We do. I will therefore proceed to put the question. That the Senate adopts the report of the Standing Committee on Devolution and Intergovernmental Relations on a petition to the Senate by Mr. Japheth Makoha, the Executive Director of the Impact CBO, to amend the County Governments Act 2012 on the mandate of the county governors assigning portfolio of a county executive committee member to the deputy county governors laid on the table of the Senate on Thursday, 25th of September 2025. Will as many as of that opinion say aye? Aye. Will as many as of the contrary opinion say nay? Nay. The ayes have it. Next order.
Order number 10, the County Hall of Fame Bill, Senate Bills number 18 of 2023, second reading.
Senator Miraj Abdullahi.
Mheshimiwa Spika, naomba kutoa hoja ya kwamba mswada wa ukumbi wa umaarufu katika kaunti, mswada wa seneti namba 18 wa mwaka 2025 usome kwa mara ya pili. Mheshimiwa Spika, mwaka wa 2010 katiba ya Kenya ilianzisha mfumo wa serikali gatuzi ambao ulitambua kitambulisho cha kipekee cha utamaduni na michango ya kaunti zetu 47. Hata hivyo, ugatuzi hauhusu tu uhamishwaji wa majukumu na rasilimali, bali pia inahusu kusherehekea mashujaa mabingwa wetu ambao wameunda kaunti.
Senator Wabua, let Senator Milanj be hand in silence. You know, she's listening to herself. Kindly.
Asante Bwana Spika. Hata hivyo, ugatuzi hauhusu tu uhamishaji wa majukumu na rasilimali, bali pia unahusu kusherehekea mashujaa na mabingwa wetu ambao wameunda kaunti zetu za kitaifa na jukumu la kuipatia huduma zao za kipekee. Kujitolea na mafanikio yao yatakayohusishwa na ushujaa kiujumla kupitia huduma zao za kipekee. Bwana Spika, tunaenda kuangamiza historia hii na turathi ambazo hawa mashujaa wetu wamefanya katika gatuzi zetu. Hivyo basi kutakuwa na pengo la kihistoria la yale ambayo wao wameyafanya kama mashujaa wetu. Kumbukumbu zetu zinaenda kudhoofika na vizazi vinavyokuja havitakuwa na sehemu ya kuona kwamba ni nani alifanyia nini gatuzi zetu. Mheshimiwa Spika, leo nasimama kwa majivuno, fahari na wajibu mkuu kuwasilisha mswada wa ukumbi wa umaarufu katika kaunti zetu ili ushughulikiwe na jumba hili la seneti mashuhuri, ili kwa sababu mswada huu ukipitishwa hautakuwa tu kipande chengine cha sheria, lakini utakuwa mswada ambao utakuwa chombo cha mabadiliko kinacholenga kuheshimu na kutukuza ubora huko mashinani mwetu, kwa kuanzisha mfumo utakaowezesha serikali za kaunti kukuza watu walioleta umaarufu, sifa na maendeleo kadha wa kadha katika kaunti zetu. Mheshimiwa Spika, mswada wa ukumbi wa umaarufu katika kaunti zetu unalenga kuziba pengo ambalo litatambuliwa kwa kuidhinisha mfumo mpana wa kutambua watu binafsi katika ngazi ya kaunti. Mswada huu unalenga, Bwana Spika, utambuzi wa umaarufu katika kaunti zetu, kuwaheshimu watu binafsi waliochangia pakubwa katika kaunti za nchi yetu, kwa kuhakikisha ubora wa kusheherekewa katika kila ngazi ya utawala na katika kila kiwango cha kitaifa. Pili, kudumisha turathi za kitamaduni. Kuanzisha kumbi hizi za umaarufu, Bwana Spika, katika kaunti zetu kama hifadhi za historia na utamaduni na turathi zetu kutahakikisha kuwa na hazina ya matukio ya kila kaunti inayohifadhiwa kwa ajili ya vizazi vijavyo. Bwana Spika, kuhamasisha vizazi vijavyo. Mapendekezo ya sheria hii, Bwana Spika, itakuwa kielelezo cha kuigwa na mifano ya kupigwa ubora katika ngazi za ugatuzi ambazo vijana wanaweza kuiga na kudhihirisha kuwa ushujaa na mafanikio ya kila kaunti inahifadhiwa kwa ajili ya vizazi vijavyo. Tatu, Bwana Spika, kuimarisha upekee wa kaunti, kukuza hisia kubwa na kujivunia na fahari kwa kusherehekea michango na mafanikio ya kipekee yanayotambulisha mwelekeo na turathi za kila kaunti. Mheshimiwa Spika, kule Mombasa tuko na vijana mahiri, vijana ambao wameweza kupambana na janga la mihadarati. Kijana kwa jina Taib Abdurrahman amekuwa ni kijana wa kwanza kuonesha ukakamavu na ushujaa, kuanzisha vikao vya kuweza kuzungumza na wale walioathirika, na mpaka sasa hata serikali kuu imeweza kukaa naye Bwana Taib Abdurrahman ambaye ndio muasisi wa Reach Out Center ambayo imesaidia waraibu wengi kurudi katika njia na barabara iliyo sawa. Bwana Spika, mapendekezo ya sheria hii inaenda kuimarisha na kukuza utalii na elimu katika gatuzi zetu. Inaenda kuunda vituo vya masomo na utalii tamaduni utakaoelimisha wakazi kuhusu historia yao na kuwa na uwezekano wa kuzalisha mapato ya kuendekeza kaunti zetu. Bwana Spika, ukiangalia hivi sasa, wakati waziri alikuja katika bunge letu la seneti juma lililopita, alisema ya kwamba tamaduni imekuwa ni kivutio kikubwa cha kuongeza idadi ya watalii katika taifa letu. Ndiposa wakati tutakuwa na sheria hii, itaweka sambamba mikakati ya kuonesha ni kitu gani na ni tamaduni gani zaidi inavutia. Kwa mfano huku jimbo la magharibi la zamani, tunajua kuna ule mchezo wa ng'ombe kupigana almaarufu kama bullfighter kwa lugha ya King'eng'e. Kule kwetu Lamu, Mombasa na hata Kwale unaweza kujionea turathi nyingi sana, milango ambayo imetengezwa kwa ulimbwende wa hali ya juu, milango ambayo ingeweza kuashiria huyu ni mfanyi biashara wa ubawabu, huyu ni mfanyi biashara wa samaki, na huyu ni mfanyi biashara wa hivyo basi. Na weza kuwashawishi maseneta wenzangu waweze kuunga mkono sheria hii ili tuweze kupata vitega uchumi haswa katika halmashauri yetu ya utalii. Mheshimiwa Spika, kila kaunti katika nchi yetu tukufu inayo watu ambao wanatambulika kupitia utoaji na huduma mahsusi kwa ubunifu, uongozi na hata kwa kujitolea. Kuanzishwa kwa mwalimu wa shule kule kaunti Garissa iliyoamrisha viwango vya elimu katika jamii. Mhudumu wa afya katika kaunti ya Turkana aliyetekeleza majukumu yake kwa uadilifu licha ya mazingira magumu. Mjasiri ya mali kutoka kule maeneo ya gatuzi ya Nyeri aliyetoa nafasi za kazi na kuchangia ukuzaji wa uchumi hadi kwa mhifadhi wa tamaduni katika kaunti ya Lamu aliyejitolea kuhakikisha kwamba tamaduni zetu zinalindwa na wahitaji kutambuliwa. Mswada huu Bwana Spika unapendekeza kubuniwa kamati ya uteuzi katika kila kaunti yetu itakayojumuisha watu wanaoheshimika wakiwemo mawaziri wa kaunti zetu wanaohusika na masuala ya utamaduni na turathi, katika katibu wa bunge la kaunti, mwenyekiti wa bodi ya huduma za umma ya kaunti na maafisa wa umma watakaoteuliwa. Kamati hii itahakikisha Bwana Spika ya kwamba uteuzi unafanywa kwa njia ya uwazi, shirikishi na kuzingatia sifa na vigezo maalum katika mchakato utakaohusisha umma kwa njia ya mikutano na kuwasilishwa kwa nyaraka za maoni. Bwana Spika, kipengele hiki kinaenda kuweka kikwazo kwa wale viongozi baadhi ambao wanafikiria kwamba ni marafiki na jamaa zao peke yao wanastahili kupewa sifa hizi kedekede za kuwa wamefanya mambo katika gatuzi zetu. Bali kipengele hiki kitaweza kupiga msasa, kuweka uwazi wa kuhakikisha ya kwamba wanaowekwa majina yao katika kumbi hizi na kusherekewa na jamii zetu katika gatuzi ni wale viongozi ambao wameweza kufanya mambo na bila ubaguzi wakaweza kuweka katika kumbi hizo. Zaidi ya hayo Bwana Spika, mswada wa umaarufu kwamba serikali za kaunti zinaweza kuteua majengo maalum ya umma yaliyopo na kusimamisha miundo mipya ili kutumika kama kumbi za umaarufu na kuhakikisha unyumbufu katika utekelezaji huu za kidumisha hadhi na udumifu wa heshima zile zinazostahili. Mfumo huu unajumuisha vifungu vya kuhifadhi vitu vya kihistoria na sanaa, kuunda makumbusho ambayo kusherehekea sio watu binafsi tu bali hata turathi pana kwa kila gatuzi zetu. Mheshimiwa Spika, ili niweze kuwajulisha wenzangu zaidi nazungumzia nini ninapozungumzia kuhifadhi turathi zetu. Kule Mombasa, kule Kilifi utapata kwamba turathi ama vazi ambalo linapendwa sana na watu wa Kilifi ni kisutu, lakini ni vazi ambalo hivi sasa watu wote wa Kimijikenda wanajivunia kwalo, isipokuwa kule Kwale na jamii ndogo ya Wadigo katika gatuzi yetu ya Kwale. Wao nguo yao na turathi yao ni kikoi kile cha rangi ya samawati. Ndipo sasa tutaweza kujua na kutofautisha katika kumbi hizi ni nguo gani zinatoka gatuzi gani na ni turathi gani ni ya jamii gani. Mheshimiwa Spika, kupitishwa kwa mswada huu si hitaji tu la kisheria, ni wajibu wa kimaadili. Ni wajibu wetu sisi kama viongozi kuhakikisha kwamba ubora popote unapotakikana unatambuliwa na kusheherekewa. Tunapowaheshimu wale ambao ni waasisi wa mambo tofauti na kuwasherehekea, basi tutakuwa tunawapa moyo wale ambao wanachipuza sasa, watoto wadogo waweze kuona ya kwamba juhudi na jitihada zao hazitaambulia patupu, bali zitakuwa katika kumbukumbu na hifadhi za kihistoria katika ukumbi huu wa umaarufu. Tunapohifadhi historia pia Bwana Spika, turasi zetu, tunawapa watoto na wajukuu wetu hisia ya kujitambulisha na rasilimali zao na kule ambako wanatoka. Baadhi, Mheshimiwa Spika, wanaweza kuhoji ya kwamba utambuzi unapaswa kuachiwa kwa tuzo za kitaifa tu na kuwa kaunti hazihitaji kumbi zao za umaarufu. Hata hivyo, ingawa utambuzi wa kitaifa ni muhimu, hauwezi kushika uwiano kamili wa bora ulio katika kaunti zetu. Watu wengi ambao huenda hawatapokea tuzo za kitaifa watapata fursa ya kuweza kutambulika katika gatuzi zao na kuweza kusherekewa na yale walioyafanya kuhifadhiwa katika hizi kumbi katika ugatuzi wao. Wengine pia, Bwana Spika, wanaweza kuhoji gharama ya utekelezaji wa mswada huu. Lakini tujiulize, gharama ni gani kusahaulika kwa mashujaa wetu? Gharama ni gani kuruhusu historia na utamaduni wetu kupotea? Gharama ni gani ya kuwanyima vijana wetu kupata vya kuigwa kutoka kwa wenyeji wao? Mswada huu, Bwana Spika, unaruhusu kaunti kutumia miundo mbinu iliyopo na unatoa urahisia katika utekelezaji na kuhakikisha kuwa kaunti zenye rasilimali chache zinaweza kushiriki katika jitihada hii yenye heshima. Bwana Spika, mswada huu unaambatana kikamilifu na maadili ya kikatiba na kutambua utofauti wa Kenya na kukuza umoja kupitia huo utofauti wetu. Unaimarisha ugatuzi kwa kuyawezesha na kuwezesha serikali zetu za kaunti kusimulia historia zao na kusherehekea mashujaa wao. Aidha, Bwana Spika, mswada huu unaimiza uwazi kupitia ushirikishwaji wa umma na lazima katika mchakato wa uteuzi. Leo muhimu zaidi, unahakikisha kwamba ubora wa hali ya juu popote unapoibuka katika Jamhuri ya Kenya unatambuliwa ipasavyo. Mheshimiwa Spika, tupishe mswada huu ili tuchukue hatua ya kijasiri kujenga taifa la Kenya ambalo katika kila kaunti inajivunia mashujaa wake. Kila jamii inalinda na kuendeleza urithi wake na kila kijana ana mfano bora hapo nyumbani ya ubora wa hali ya juu itayompa msukumo katika safari yake ya kuelekeza majukumu yake makuu kwenye taifa lake. Mheshimiwa Spika, naomba tuupitishe mswada huu na kuuchukua hatua ya ujasiri kujenga Kenya ambayo kila jamii inahifadhi tamaduni zake na kujivunia mashujaa wake, na kila kijana awe na mfano wa mashinani ambao uko karibu na yeye, utakao mjenga imani, kumjenga kimaadili na hata pia kumjenga kiuchumi, kuona ya kwamba wale waliokuwa kabla yake waliweza kufungua njia ambapo mahali njia haikuwepo. Mheshimiwa Spika, kwa ruhusa yako, ukiniruhusu niweze kuwatambua mama zangu mashujaa, mke aliyekuwa meya wetu wa Mombasa, Bi Zubeda Sumba marehemu, ambaye alikuwa kiongozi wa maendeleo ya wanawake pale Mombasa, ambaye ametuachia historia kubwa ya kusema kwamba wanawake wanaweza. Niweze pia kumtambua muasisi wa uongozi wa kike kule Mombasa, Bi Margaret Olang, ambaye alikuwa mwakilishi wa kuchaguliwa katika eneo la Ganjoni wakati wa KANU. Mheshimiwa Spika, wanawake kama hawa historia zao zinaenda kupotea kwa sababu tunawatambua tu wale ambao wamewika kitaifa, ambao bado wapo hai. Na pia najua kama si Mheshimiwa Spika Bi Senator Catherine Muma kumtaja Mama Phoebe Yaseo hapa, Mama Julia Ojiambo, labda hata kuna watoto katika gatuzi yake hawajui yale mambo ambayo ameyafanya, lakini kupitia kumbi hii ya umaarufu historia yake itaweza kuhifadhiwa na si kusherehekewa tu kimataifa, bali hata wale wasichana wadogo katika kaunti zetu wataweza kujua na kujipa moyo ya kwamba wanaweza kuwa kitu katika taifa hili la Kenya. Mheshimiwa Spika, niruhusu pia niweze kumtambua Alfred Ogweno ambaye alikuwa ndio rais wa kwanza wa vijana pale Mombasa, ambaye hajakuwa tena kitu chochote, lakini najua kupitia sheria hii ambayo naomba maseneta wenzangu waweze kuiunga mkono, ataweza kutambulika kama kijana shupavu. Kijana Alfred Sigo kutoka kule Changamwe, kijana wa kike Baby Manga maarufu kutoka Likoni, na ndugu zangu wote ambao tumekuwa katika mapambano ya mageuzi, kwa sababu najua katika miaka yetu tutakayoishi, sio sote tutakaopata fursa ya kuongoza jamii yetu, lakini kupitia ukumbi huu wa umaarufu tutaweza kuwatambua na kuwasherehekea katika juhudi ambazo mnazifanya katika jamii yetu ya Mombasa na Kenya nzima kwa jumla. Mheshimiwa Spika, naomba nimuite Profesa Kamar, Senator, aweze kuja kuniunga mkono katika hoja yangu hii. Asante sana.
Senator Professor Margaret Kamar, sijui ya kwamba utatumia Kiswahili ndio tuwe na mfululizo mwema.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. For the sake of the members who don't understand Kiswahili much, let me talk in English and help them out. Mr. Speaker, I stand to second this motion on the county, this bill on the County Hall of Fame, Senate Bills 18 of 2023. And I do it proudly because it is a bill whose time has come. It's a bill that should have been implemented by now. I want to thank the Honorable Senator Miraj Abdurrahman for moving a very progressive bill, an inward-looking bill. Mr. Speaker, we almost lost our identity because of colonialism. We reached a point, Mr. Speaker, when the history books of Kenya, and those of us in our generation remember, that we knew the history of West Africa more than the history of Kenya. We knew the history of Europe more than the history of Kenya, because nobody was writing the history of Kenya, and where it was written, sometimes it was distorted. This bill is trying to recover an image for us as a nation, and for that I congratulate my sister, Senator Miraj, because we must be identified by who we are, and for us to be identified by who we are, we must write our history ourselves, and we must store that history. Heritage is a right to every community, but the way we lost, we must look for a way of recovering, and this bill is trying to do a lot of that. We must restore ourselves from the damage that was done by colonialism. Incidentally, I and Senator Mungatana sit in the Pan-African Parliament, and this year is the year of reparations out because of colonialism. So this bill is coming at the very right time when we must look inward and appreciate ourselves, because a lot of damage was done. In fact, in the last sitting, Mr. Speaker, there was a question of how do we quantify the damage of colonialism. Now I'm seeing a new area of damage in this bill. The fact that we lost identity and we didn't write our history. Somebody must pay us for that. Because we had history, we had chiefs, we had kings in our own villages that were completely eroded. I'm happy again that we are doing it now because it's urgent. That generation of elders that we should be getting information from is actually diminishing. And I think the sooner we finish, and I want to urge my colleagues that we actually finish this and go to the third reading and dispense of, so that our governors can run around to look for information from the elders that are still existing, because we have lost a lot of our history. So we cannot afford to delay, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, the objective, this bill has wonderful aims. First, to recognize local heroes. There is no community that does not have its own heroes. But we now know them by name, and we sometimes don't even know what they did because nobody documented them. And we need to document that. Recognition of local heroes is a very important thing for us. We were made to believe that our heroes in the colonial times were actually fighters against modern life, and so we are pushed to believe that they are not there. We thank God for the Maasais who have resisted changing their clothes up to now, the Ma community, that they say their dressing will continue, whether you are modernizing or not, and our brother was here in full regalia today. There are things that we have lost. A sense of recognition of these heroes is also very important because those who are not heroes, our heroes may not have been heroes to the colonialists at the time, but we need to restore them and put them in the heroes list. Recognizing heroes also brings a sense of appreciation, which sometimes we don't have in our nation. Mr. Speaker, I was in the East African Legislative Assembly, 2002-2006, and I attended independence celebrations of the three countries, Kenya, Uganda, and Tanzania. We had a session just before the Tanzanian independence at that time. At that time, the president was, it was the third president, alias Ngunyi. But for 1 week, all the radios were singing independence songs, praising their heroes. Wherever you would feel like he's alive because the whole town of Arusha was covered with billboards, the size of the billboard our colleague has used to welcome us here. Billboards of their first president, billboards of their first cabinet, billboards of people who have done things, billboards of the Zanzibari leaders, and we asked ourselves as Kenyans, how come before independence we don't even talk about the founders of this nation? We don't even recognize the founder president. In fact, even now as we are talking, sometimes we don't talk about the founder president, and yet we know he sacrificed a lot for this country. This is what this bill is trying to restore, to bring back recognition and to recognize people. If we don't learn to recognize people, even our own children will not recognize us. And this is very, very important. A sense of appreciation in recognition of people who have done something will run through the bloodstream and that recognition will go further. So I think it is very urgent and it is very important. I was very impressed to listen to the daughter of the soil, Senator Muma, when she gave us a whole list of heroes of Busia. And I felt like even the kidney transplant, Dr. Awori, Nelson Awori, we only know the building Dr. Nelson Awori. I didn't know. I've been to that building, but I did not know who this Dr. Wilson Awori was, except until now when the majority whip said that he taught him and that he did the first kidney transplant. We don't recognize our people, and we need to really restore that kind of dignity to people, whether they are alive or they are gone. Preservation of culture is something else that we have almost forgotten, and as I said, it is because we leaned so much on the culture of the colonizer that we almost to consider our cultures to be a taboo. Inspiration of our future generations, providing local role models is another very important one. Let us not forget that youth, young people grow because of role models. So we cannot afford not to recognize those who were before us and those who made sacrifices before us, people that we can emulate, people who demonstrated heroism in various ways. This bill has talked of strengthening county identity. Our counties are different. The Constitution recognizes that we are different and that our cultures must be recognized. But in what form do we recognize them? This bill is going to bring that kind of restoration. Mr. Speaker, promoting education, as we said, now that we are going for CBC, practical education, we also need to start identifying things that, that define us as a nation and that define our country. So this bill is a very progressive bill, and I want to persuade colleagues that we move very fast to implement it. And as I said, it is a very urgent bill. It must be done in our time, and it must be done before we lose all the old heroes that are still with us. There are responsibilities that have been given to the county government in this bill. I really would like to support that. It is good that the county government takes responsibility when it comes to implementation of this framework. Basically because we have variation. This county, we have been told, has 3 different communities, and they must be recognized as such within the county. But that reduces to looking at cultures of 3 communities instead of looking at cultures of 47 or 46 as we are. So it is very important that this is homed at the county level. And I saw the options that the framework has given, that a county may develop a new building or designate a building. I really want to encourage that we can clean that one up, that they must actually give us new buildings and new areas so that we have our culture. What I see in this is something like bombers in every county, where the cultural dances also will be displayed for purposes of tourism, and that it will not be only an education center, it will not be a whole of heroes, photos and whatever, but we will also have our cultural displays. These will bring quite a number of cultures. Mr. Speaker, I once went to Holland for an academic trip, and they took us to what they call their tourist center. Of course, tourism in Kenya is big business. There we went for tourism, and we were dressed in the original Dutch clothes and asked to carry 6 pounds of cheese for photo session. And I thought that was really something. But as we went, and the university program taken care of by our hosts, interestingly, they were paying $100, which is about now, the cost of, it's about 13,000 shillings, just to enter and take a photo and go. And these are areas that we need to diversify. In any case, our tourism has not been diversified the way it should. We could be having more touristic products if we went for that. So it is good that we want to that we do it at the county level. Mr. Speaker, I really agree with the very statement that Senator mentioned, that really this is not just legislation. It is about moral obligations for us. So as a Senate, we need to move forward and make sure that we do this for the past, present, and the future of this country, and for the future of the nations, so that our children don't look like they came from nowhere, and because our culture is totally distorted because of whoever colonized us those days. Mr. Speaker, as I wind up, I want to mention that there are a number of aspects that have come there, and there is one on costs. That sometimes we look at costs and we don't realize that a small cost today can pay you more in the future. But I like the phrase that was used, again for those who did not understand because it was in Kiswahili, she put it very clear that sometimes the cost of implementing the bill is debated. But we must ask ourselves, what is the cost of forgetting our heroes? What is the cost of allowing our history and heritage to disappear? What is the cost of denying our young people local role models? The bill allows counties, therefore, to use existing facilities for the sake of reducing that cost, but the truth is that there is no cost. You cannot put a cost to this. You cannot put a cost to forgetting heroes. Those who are with us before, those who charted the way for this nation, and those whose heritage we need to preserve. Mr. Speaker, may I wind up by asking my colleagues that I want to repeat, this is not a bill that we would like to spend too much time on. This is a bill that you read and you want to implement so that we recover what must be recovered and document what must be documented. With those remarks, Mr. Speaker, I second.
Senator, you cannot raise your hand even before we propose the question. Just be patient. Honorable Senators, I propose the question that the County Hall of Fame Bill, Senate Bills number 18 of 2023, be now read a second time. Majority Leader.
Mr. Speaker, I'm wondering if we have lost the traditions of this House. How can Cherargei want to claim the floor while the people who inducted him and showed him points of orders how to do work in this House are still sitting? He should know, Mr. Speaker, that when such opportunities appear, you wait patiently. So I expect that today, Senator Kisang, despite his relatively advanced age than Cherargei, will wait also for Cherargei to speak first. Then the good man from Tots can speak later, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I rise to support this
you give seniors priority.
Very important motion.
I'm afraid whether the 10 years in the National Assembly, Kisang's 10 years are also recognized.
Mr. Speaker, you know he's trying to bribe you because he knows you are an interested party in that matter. But I know you are a straightforward jury checker who delivers justice without compromise from people like Senator Kisang.
Okay, proceed.
Mr. Speaker, I rise to support this very important bill before us. This is a very important bill, Mr. Speaker, that has seen its fair share of rounds in this House. That is the House of the Senate. I think this is the third attempt that we're actually making. And listening to Senator Miraj and our colleague, Senator Professor Kamar, move this bill, it gives very cogent reasons why any reasonable legislator, either in the National Assembly or in the Senate, should support this piece of legislation, Mr. Speaker. But unfortunately, each time this bill gets to the counterpart house in the National Assembly, they shelve it for reasons beyond my understanding. I do hope that Senator Miraj has committed this bill to prayer before moving it. And all the people she has mentioned, Mr. Speaker, though limited to Mombasa County majorly, but its effect will be on the whole country and the 47 counties, Mr. Speaker, will actually have justified reason to support this very important piece of legislation. One of the things I admire about advanced societies is in how they preserve their traditions, how they preserve various symbolic places, Mr. Speaker, and men and women who make serious commitment. People have moved from even celebrating individuals to even celebrating work culture, Mr. Speaker. If you go, and I have said this example many times previously,
I can't remember the specific airports, but in one of the airports in the United States, I read a caption that really impressed me. The same way people queue on airports, they had put a caption and they had said, farmers are the heroes of this state. If you're a farmer, you don't have to queue because you feed us. And then when we inquired further, we were told that it's because it got to a time where very few people wanted actually to participate in farming activities, Mr. Speaker, because of its meager returns. So they encourage this culture that those that actually engage in farming activities, Mr. Speaker, are the heroes of that local state. And they were being celebrated so as to encourage young people, even as they grow up, Mr. Speaker, they would know that they are doing a very sacred task for the people of that state, Mr. Speaker. And you'll find that actually you'd see occasionally one or two people would walk, instead of taking the queue, they just pass by the machine. The only thing that troubled me in my Kenyan mind, Mr. Speaker, is that if you attempt to do that at JKIA, everybody, including those who farm skuma wiki in gunny bags on the balconies of Nairobi, they'll claim to be farmers, Mr. Speaker. You know us with our culture. If even in that country as well, Mr. Speaker, of the United States, many times when you see military servicemen and women walk even into petrol station and convenience stores, many times people will greet them and say, thank you for your service, because people appreciate what others do for a living. It is that culture of appreciating men and women that do great for others, Mr. Speaker, that encourages even our young people to know that there is value, Mr. Speaker, in serving your country, in doing the right thing for your community. That is exactly what this bill is attempting to do. Yet, unfortunately, Mr. Speaker, because of our lack of good practices of preserving our culture, our artifacts, our historical events, Mr. Speaker, people have long forgotten us. You just saw this afternoon. In fact, when I saw what the exchange between Senator Kalwale, my good friend, and Senator Catherine Moma, I said perhaps they are setting a precursor for the County Hall of Fame bill. If there was a County Hall of Fame here in Busia, there was no need for argument between who has done this contribution or the other. We'd have just brought out the roll call here and said, now that you're in Busia County, these are the men and women whose lives have had great impact to the people of Busia County, Mr. Speaker. But it is non-existent. That's why we have to rely on the cultural perspectives of Kalwale, Mr. Speaker, or the feminine antics of my colleague, Senator Momo, Mr. Speaker, to celebrate them. She is correcting me that antics is not the right word, Mr. Speaker. Okay, feminine sensitivities, Mr. Speaker, if I may replace that particular word, Mr. Speaker. I don't struggle with English, Senator Moma. Therefore, I know what you mean, and I wanted to make sure that I speak right. And just for the record, you are right, actually. As a father of daughters, I appreciate that you celebrated the women that have made great contribution to Busia County, better than the men folk from this region attempted to do, Mr. Speaker. And I agree also with her position earlier, that a woman belongs actually to where she's born. She also belongs to where she's married. It is a gift that God gave to them. They are the only ones that can have two homes. That's why even culturally, Mr. Speaker, you find that women are sometimes elected in their place of birth or even where they have been married to. And if you want to challenge that, Mr. Speaker, you become a woman and do the things that they do, Mr. Speaker, and carry the burden that they carry. Therefore, you benefit from that. So therefore, Mr. Speaker, it is my sincere hope that we shall conclude on this bill and send it to our colleagues in the National Assembly, who will have the place of grace to appreciate that this has nothing to do with senators, Mr. Speaker, but everything to do with society appreciating important historical happenings, either contribution by human beings, events of nature, Mr. Speaker, sacred locations, things that have had great impact in society, Mr. Speaker, that you will preserve it. I have said, and I want to repeat for emphasis' sake, Mr. Speaker, that there is no society that is worth its place of pride that does not have a place for celebrating the men and women that make great contribution for the advancement of that society. That the only way we will actually be able to measure you as a society, how advanced you are, Mr. Speaker, is when you begin to do things such as this, so that you encourage others to know that there is value in doing right, there is value in service to community. In fact, I want to challenge governors, our colleagues who serve in the executive side of our county assemblies. You don't even have to wait for this bill. Many of these countries, by the way, you know, I don't know where we got this culture from, to imagine that to do the right thing, you need the law. In many of these countries that I'm citing, there is no law, for example, Mr. Speaker, in the United States, that dictate that if you meet a serviceman or woman, you have to appreciate them and say thank you for your service to the country. But people just do it out of appreciation. Therefore, I want to challenge colleague governors and people that are listening to this broadcast, Mr. Speaker, that there is nothing that stops our county governments from celebrating and setting up county hall of fames, Mr. Speaker, even without the passage of this legislation, Mr. Speaker, so that you appreciate the people that have made significant contribution to your community, to your country. Even the president, Mr. Speaker, must set up this thing at a national level so that we appreciate and set it to the level, Mr. Speaker, where the men and women that have made our country great, Mr. Speaker, all have brought us moments of national pride, Mr. Speaker. Lili ever pay Faith Kipyegon for the moments she has given us over all those world championships and Olympics each time. When you stand beyond in front of a TV, from whichever part of the world that you're watching from, and see her conquer the world, Mr. Speaker. Money will never repay. That's why I was a little bit disturbed last week, actually, Mr. Speaker. I never got a chance to look at my colleagues. I think, I don't want to mention them, but they know themselves, who appear to be besmirching the Harambee Stars players, actually, who are just encouraged to invest in the affordable housing program. And they took issue with it and say, oh, why are they being rewarded? Number one, they are not being rewarded. They are just being encouraged to invest in it. I thought as legislators, Mr. Speaker, we would say, if you recall the triumph and the journey of our young people that had participated in the Chan 2024 that happened in Kenya, Uganda, and Tanzania, Mr. Speaker, is that they came at a time, actually, Mr. Speaker, doom and gloom in the country as a follow-up to the political activities of June and July. And they brought us very good reprieve as a country in a moment of national pride. That is not something that you can ever replicate, Mr. Speaker. No amount of money will ever buy or bring a country together the way our sportsmen and women, just to use them as an example, Mr. Speaker, do each time when they represent the country and they do us proud, Mr. Speaker. That moment when you feel proud as a Kenyan, Mr. Speaker. That's what decent societies do. We don't need legislation such as this, Mr. Speaker, to remind us. But because this is our culture and because we know how we behave, perhaps we need to put it and draft it into law, Mr. Speaker, so that people begin to appreciate and know that the same way we insist that crime must be punished to deter those that are thinking of doing similar things, Mr. Speaker. You know the way they read the convictions in court, so as to prevent you and those of a similar behavior from ever thinking of doing this and that. I convict you for this and this. This is an attempt to do the same for those that have done great, so that when young people from a particular primary school in Busia here, Mr. Speaker, visit the Busia County Hall of Fame, they will read about the Julia Ojambo professor that Senator Catherine Muma was talking about, her biography, the things that she has done, where she went to school, and her contribution and her relevance to the people of Busia. It inspires our young children. Otherwise, Mr. Speaker, if we leave it as it is today, they will get inspiration from TikTok alone, Mr. Speaker. And the people that are doing some funny things in there, because there is no place that they can go and read about the history of their county, of their community, of their region, Mr. Speaker, and how the contributions of eminent sons and daughters of that region or place or country, Mr. Speaker, has been captured and recorded. We will not be here for eternity. In another few decades, most, if not all of us in this house, Mr. Speaker, will be part of the history books. How will people remember our contribution if indeed we would have done something good for the country or for the county that we represent if we don't begin this kind of culture? Many times you walk, even in European cities, and you find very insignificant acts, Mr. Speaker. I remember being in one of the capitals, I don't recall the specific place, but they just celebrated an individual, Mr. Speaker, whose contribution to that community was the fact that for the longest time, he ran a newspaper magazine store that the greater part of that county or municipality got their news from for, I think, for a couple of decades, Mr. Speaker. And at the end of his life, the local municipal actually renamed that corner of the street in his honor, Mr. Speaker. Little contributions. It doesn't have to be the people that make great exceptional things that we think, oh, this person did something that was life-changing. It could be just somebody that did something as honorable as selling newspapers, informing people, and their bread of life dutifully and diligently, and did so for a record number of years, to a point that people appreciated that there was a honest person who served this community. I believe there are many such people, Mr. Speaker, who have done great things in our county, not necessarily the things that we elites celebrate, but even in their ordinary life, just honest, decent life, Mr. Speaker. Something that is so lacking in our society in present day, Mr. Speaker, that to a point where people can begin to celebrate and say, there was a cobbler actually who kept his time. That unlike other cobblers who tell you that I was just waiting for the shoe to dry up before I knit it together, and when you walk away, they put it away, Mr. Speaker. That there was this gentleman who, for the time that he served in this place, lived a decent and a honest life, Mr. Speaker. I believe that that is a challenge to all of us that are in leadership and all of us as a society, because part of the struggle that the Kenyan society continues to face up to this date, Mr. Speaker, is the fact that we lack good examples for people to follow. Everybody is on and about and doing their own things. There are very few men and women to emulate anymore. I don't know, Mr. Speaker, about your concerns, for example, as a father. I say this because as a father, many times you engage your kids and are concerned about the people that they consider to be their heroes. Apart from, you would think that the same way for you back in the day, it would be the professor by the corner in the village, or a particular individual who had a quote-unquote big job in Nairobi. For them, it's very interesting characters. And I want to encourage those of you that are young parents, like Senator Kajwang, Senator Cherargei, and the rest. I think Senator Mugen, we can spare him this condition, because at least to the best of my knowledge, his kids are all of adult age. But Senator Kajwang, Senator Cherargei, this is a conversation that you may sometime want to have with your young children, to ask them who their heroes and role models are. You'll be shocked that it is not necessarily the people that you yourself growing up used to think that I'd wish to be like so-and-so. So if we don't set up this culture, Mr. Speaker, of celebrating the men and women that do exceptionally well in our society, and finding a place to preserve their story and make sure that it is told in the right way, Mr. Speaker, we are setting a very bad culture for our society. It is my hope, Mr. Speaker, that in the formation of this Hall of Fame in our various counties, the designation of the place, because it is stated that there will be a designated public building where this can be done. I have said, and I want to repeat, Mr. Speaker, that you don't have to wait for this bill as a county to do it. I'd encourage any forward-looking and any progressive governor, particularly those that are serving their second term, that actually begin this, and that will be part of your contribution to your society. In future, when people read about your history, it will be read that actually the culture of County X, Kericho County, Bungoma, Busia, I don't know, Vihiga, Mr. Speaker, celebrating its men and women, was begun by Governor so-and-so. And this building was dedicated for the future of this society, so that in 100 years' time, people will come and read and know that there used to be a senator of theirs who used to do this or the other, and is considered a local hero. It doesn't have to be even as politician. It could be a local priest, Mr. Speaker, whose contribution to making that society better make. Part of it also, Mr. Speaker, the part that I appreciate about this is actually preservation of historical items and artifacts. There's a place, for example, in my county, in Kericho, where when Queen Elizabeth visited, I don't know in which year, in the early parts of the 20th century, Mr. Speaker, that she visited and laid flowers in appreciation of how beautiful and vast that land is. I believe you've been to Kericho and you appreciate how beautiful and expansive the land is. That place, if you go there today, You will find cows just leaping and donkeys, Mr. Speaker. You hardly even can recognize it. In fact, how I even came to know about it as a senator is that there is an old lady who walked up to me sometimes in Nairobi at a shopping mall and told me, by the way, Senator, you guys have really let me down. There is this particular corner of the county that I want you to visit and check. And she gave me the history of how that place became a historically relevant part of the county. And when I checked, actually, true to her telling of the story, Mr. Speaker, it was completely neglected and run down. Nobody even appreciated. I want to believe in more decent societies, a place that a person of that world fame has visited and done something that is symbolic and significant will at least be preserved for her admirers or for future generations, and people will want to know who is this particular person when they visit. There are many other things that can be said. There was a big contest back in the day, Mr. Speaker, about returning the head, for example, or the spear that was used by Koitalel Arab Samuel from the British forces. And up to date, that is yet to be done. How will it be returned, Senator Cherarged? You have not built the public building where to keep it. If it comes, where will you take it? Will it go to your home or the home of my friend Governor Sag, Mr. Speaker? We must preserve and be ready to do this thing, what decent societies do, Mr. Speaker, so that we can preserve our culture and celebrate what needs to be done. I don't want to belabor the point, Mr. Speaker, because I know this is a fairly straightforward matter. I want to agree, Mr. Speaker, that this is long overdue. My only plea is that when it gets to our colleagues, the counterparts in the National Assembly, they will do that which they are duty-bound to do to ensure that we give the country a good piece of law. I congratulate Senator Miraj on the choice of bill actually to move while we are here in Busia, because it speaks to relevant issues that are related to people in our counties. I thank you for the chance, Mr. Speaker.
Honorable Senators, there is a lot of interest on this bill. I just advise us, of course you have your 20 minutes contributing, but I advise as your chair that you can spare your colleagues some time also to say I want. You don't need to use the 20 minutes. Senator Kadri Mumu, for some reasons better known to me.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker, and I will not be too long. Honorable Speaker, first I wish to congratulate our colleague Senator Miraj on this bill. Senator Miraj has picked a topic, Honorable Speaker, that is one of the neglected functions in this country. Honorable Speaker, when you look at the fourth schedule, the function of cultural activities, libraries, museums, is with the county governments. But when we do our office oversight, I tend to think that the Senate has over-concentrated on departments that deal with other issues, the fancy one being the roads. But we have not, in the 13 years of devolution, done a good job on assisting counties to implement the function on cultural activities. Senator Miraj, I want to congratulate you on behalf of the people of Kenya, because this is another ball that we have dropped as a collective, both national government and county governments. Why do I say so? Honorable Speaker, we have history books that have misinformation about Africa, about this country. But who can correct? We have been ranting about it. My own daughters have asked, how could you people sit around and allow books to say so-and-so discovered Lake Victoria, so-and-so discovered this other bit, and you're doing nothing about it? We have history departments in our universities, and Honorable Speaker, we have never made a national policy to say, when do we begin to correct the history that has been written about our country? When do we sit down to document our cultural activities? But we treat this as issues that are footnotes. Honorable Speaker, I'm in the Education Committee, and we will be reporting to you sometime that ECD is another thing that counties have taken as a footnote. You find that education budgets are going to functions of national government, but VTCs that should be lifting the bulk of the youngsters who drop out of universities are not well funded. But even as we fund them, we are putting little in terms of nurturing our cultures, building the libraries we are talking about, encouraging our histories to be written. So I want to congratulate you, Senator Miraj, because you're bringing an issue that seems to be insignificant, and yet it is extremely important. Honorable Speaker, why is this issue very important? We are moving to an age where artificial intelligence is currently taking over operations of our economies, operations even within the schools. And Honorable Speaker, artificial intelligence operates on the basis of data. That data is mined on the basis of what has been written. What data do we have about ourselves, about the peoples of Kenya? Where can I go to be able to learn about the peoples of Kenya? Honorable Speaker, we don't have that information. We only have snippets of little information about what has been selected by whoever is authoring a paper or a book at any one time. But we have rich histories as the over 53 communities in Kenya that we can actually write. And our system of devolution provides a good solution for us to have 47 or more simultaneous activities that will help us to document, to come up with the kind of data that will ensure the world will plan for Kenya on the basis of what is relevant for Kenya. We have not been doing this. Honorable Miraj, the only thing I might want to advise that you include in this bill, as I said earlier, again the Senate dropped the ball on the issue of strengthening intergovernmental mechanisms. Honorable Speaker, this is one bill where we can have good conversation between national and county government because of the tourism that will be there, the trade issues, and so on. It is also one of the good bills that would give us a good inter-county conversation around some of these things. For instance, Honorable Speaker, assuming we want to write about the cultural festivities among the Kalenjin community, the Nandi people are not just in the Nandi county. The Kipsigis people are not just in Bomet. They are in Bomet, they are in Kericho, they are in Nandi. So if we had an inter-county conversation, we would be able to have a history that is written, accurate history that will tell us on why we have this community dispersed in the manner it is dispersed. Honorable Speaker, we have Luyas in Migori, the Maragoli. We have Maragoli also in Vihiga. When looking at cultural issues of the Maragoli, I would expect that there would be inter-county conversation, so the history of the Maragolis would be reflected both in Vihiga, would also be reflected in Migori. So this is also an opportunity.
Senator Kadri Numa, do you want to be informed by the senator from Vihiga County?
Honorable Speaker, he's a Maragoli, so I will allow him to inform me.
Yes, Senator Ososi.
Mr. Speaker, I just wanted to inform her that the community she is referring to, Maragoli, are not just in Migori or any other place, they are also a recognized tribe in Uganda, just next door, Mr. Speaker.
Next time you say, I wanted to inform Senator Kadri Numa, not to inform her. Senator Kadri.
Thank you, Speaker. Thank you,
Senator
Speaker.
by the name. Senator Kadri.
And the point the senator makes is well taken. And we have other communities. The Maasai communities are in more than one country. The Luo are in more than one country. So coming together, we would actually bring a very rich product if the counties took this seriously. Honorable Speaker, I'm sure you've traveled maybe as a Catholic to go to Israel, to go to Rome, and when you go there, you give a lot of money basically to be told the history of Rome, the history of Christianity. There is also a history of Kenya. And what Honorable Miraj has done, members, I want us to take it seriously in order to be able to assist, not just to award the heroes and heroines within our communities, but to establish, one, to correct our history, two, to also establish an economy around our culture, but apart from that, for our very informed children, especially the Gen Zs, to be able to redeem ourselves for having retained history that does not reflect the truth about Kenya, history that we can actually write well. And as I have said, it is one of the county functions not seriously taken. We need now, and the Committee on Labor needs to start possibly start reporting to Senate how well counties are investing in this function, what they're investing in this function, and how we are able to come together intergovernmentally, national and county governments, and also inter-county in order to make this law work. I want to urge our colleagues that this is a good law, a law required very urgently by this country because of where the future is going. Let us do our documentation so that we don't have biased interpretation of who we are when we move to the AI-driven economy. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Senator Chalgin.
Mr. Speaker, you need to protect me from Senator Ledama. Mr. Speaker, Madam Speaker, let me begin just to make a few observations. One is that I want to commend Senator Miraj Abdullahi. I think, Madam Speaker, one of the senators that as a party of United Democratic Alliance we are proud of is Senator Miraj, because she has continued to distinguish herself in children's rights, culture, and many other aspects. And I'm impressed and surprised that within 3 years, she has done more than what other 10 years people who have been here have done. Senator Miraj, we wish you well, and as a party, we are proud of you. We want also, when this law is passed, when your governor Abdul Samad, although he's not doing very well, will have constructed County Hall of Fame, he will include you prominently in one of the Hall of Fame. Madam Speaker, I want to make a few things. When you look at the fourth schedule, number 6, is it? I think the fourth schedule. Some of the functions one of the out of 34 functions of the fourth schedule, Madam Speaker, that has been given. When you look at number 4, Bachi and H, it says cultural activities, public entertainment, and public amenities. So this is one of the core functions of the county government. So what we are doing, and I hope the National Assembly, as the majority leader said, will pass this law. Because, Senator Miraj, you need to play hard through the Speaker for this bill to be passed. Because this bill has taken circles to circles, Madam Speaker. So we hope, with the reading of fourth schedule, Rule number 4, culture is properly domiciled in counties. So the passage of this bill is within the aspect and the ambit of the constitutional provisions of what we should do as protectors of devolution that we provide for in Article 96 of our role, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, I'm aware that a number of our colleagues have been earmarked to be given national honors, including Senator Ledamo Olekina and a number of colleagues that have been given national honors. Madam Speaker, I hope this law, when it comes to pass, we should have a criteria. Madam Speaker, I'm not saying my colleagues should not qualify, but I always suspect it's being politically correct, in my own opinion. That is because, Madam Speaker, you was truly, I serve as the chair of JLAC. I was never given an award because the then president and powers be felt that I should not be awarded. I became the vice chair of County Public Accounts Committee. I was never awarded. So we need a law like this to give us the criteria. The national honor should not be dished out like sweets, like njugu karanga on the streets, Madam Speaker. It should be given. I remember the biggest scandal of Gideri man. The man just queued with the Gideri and he was given a CPS as state honor, HSC as of state commendation, while yours truly has never been given. And I've done a lot for this country, Mr. Speaker. So next time I should vote while holding Gideri in my hand so that I can be awarded. So what I'm saying in short is that this law will provide a proper criteria on how heroes from the county and the national can be recognized, so that whether you are pro or against the system of the day, the fact that you have done in this country, Madam Speaker. You spoke today about Professor Julia Ojambo, and I'm honored, Madam Speaker, you are aware when you were having a breakfast, and we said hello. You could see even my chair of PAC was there. We greeted her with a lot of admiration and respect. And I wish Senator Cheruiyot was there to greet her, but I know he's a busy man. He was coming from empowerment programs. He was just landing. So, and we greeted Professor Julia Ojambo, and we were amazed. This simple lady, this humble lady, this professor. You know, it's like when the children, when you remember, Madam Speaker, you are a Christian like me. When they Mary and the other lady went to the tomb where Jesus was buried, when the angel appeared, they went into a trance. That is what happened to us today when we met Professor Julia Ojambo today. And we are proud of her. We are proud of Moody Awori, one of the vice presidents and a distinguished legislator. Although I'm informed he has a brother here just next door in Uganda. We are proud of sons and daughters. Even Senator Okia Okoitiam Mutata. I don't know what Senator Okia Mutata has his name in the history of this country in civil rights and human rights in terms of litigation. I don't know about these other ambitions that he wants to be the 6th. But we are warning him that he should not be the 6th on Facebook, but he should go put the boots on the ground. And that is what we are just emphasizing, that we celebrate sons and daughters of this, on this.
Senator Cherargei, do you want to be informed? Senator Cherargei does not want to be informed, sorry. No, he does not want to be informed, it's all right. Proceed.
Madam Speaker, so that is why I was talking about national honors, because let us reward their good in leadership, science, culture, Madam Speaker, and many others in sports. Now like Faith Kipyegon, we are proud of her, Madam Odira, a number of them were ngunyi, Madam Speaker, and you heard that it is courtesy of Ugali that we are ngunyi won, by being told by Faith Kipyegon. Madam Speaker, and the kits that are provided by AK should also improve. And at this point, Madam Speaker, even in sports which we are proud of, athletics, people like Ezekiel Kemboy, people like Conseslus Kipruta, Madam Speaker, people like, there is a gentleman who just passed on. He was among the 1972 Olympics. The manyora from Kisii. Mekatili wa Menza, Koitalel Arab Samoe, and many others, we should recognize us. Even today, no one knows these Gen Zs. They don't know who Professor Julia Ojambo is. They don't know. Madam Speaker, they don't need unless you Google. So how do you know that I'm driving my point home? So we need to build a museum where this history is kept. I am impressed by colleagues who have traveled outside for benchmarking. But a number of them who have traveled, I don't know what is wrong with the mic today. Madam Speaker, there are many colleagues who have traveled. You go to in Atlanta International Airport, is it called Pearson International Airport? They say something about that state. You go to many states, there is something unique about those states. We need to refocus, Madam Speaker. There is an issue, so that I just make 2 points and I yield. Madam Speaker, is on the issue of Koitalel Samoe. Madam Speaker, I want to thank His Excellency the President of the Republic of Kenya, Dr. William Ruto. As we talk today, Koitalel Samoe University is being constructed in Nandi Hills town in honor and recognition of Koitalel Samoe, Madam Speaker, who led the Nandi resistance that we refuse the railway to pass until it passes near your home, Madam Speaker, because I have been told you have 2 homes. You have where you were born and where you are married to. So it is us, until that railway was diverse, it's because of Nandi resistance, led by Koitalel Samoe, and in honor, Madam Speaker, the government is constructing one of the biggest universities, Koitalel, just like Detan Kimani University, Madam Speaker, Detan Kimani University. We have also an hospital, JM Karaoke Hospital, also in Rift Valley, in Laikipia, Olkalau, Madam Speaker. So this is it, and I want to thank the Senator of Kericho. Madam Speaker, we have not received the aid that was taken by the whites in 1950s, the skull of Koitalel Samoe University, Koitalel Samoe. Madam Speaker, in fact, that I have tracked, that skull, Madam Speaker, is in Pitts Rivers Museum, London. I want to challenge Chair Labour to track this skull. I know where it is. It is in Pitts Rivers Museum, somewhere in London. I know Commissioner Kingwa has traveled extensively, and he might be aware of this museum. Some of us rarely travel, Madam Speaker. Maybe we are not, we don't look nice to travel. So, Madam Speaker, that is, this is where the skull of Koitalel Samoe is in Pitts Rivers Museum, and I want to call upon, let us bring the skull. We brought the artifacts, and I want to inform the House, in Koitalel we have established, courtesy of President Kibaki, and I want to thank President Kibaki. He was never tribal. He never preached about tribalism. He gave us money to construct Koitalel Samoe Mausoleum in Nandi Hills town. That is where the skull of Koitalel Samoe will be brought to. Remember people like Bishop Muge of SCK fought for justice. He died while living this county of Busia because he was not politically correct. I am trying to thank the Anglican Church of Kenya. They have recognized him. They have buried him in SCK St. Matthew's in Eldoret. He fought. He died on his way back after coming to Busia, your county, when he had joined other Kenyans for civil rights and human rights. Madam Speaker, Father Alois Cheruiyot Bet, who was just killed by assassins for trying to bring peace in Kerio Valley. These are latter-day heroes that we must recognize. That we must recognize, Madam Speaker. The other day we were doing fundraiser to construct a church in this one. I want to thank the Catholic Church and the Kenya Catholic Bishops Conference, that we will remember him. These are heroes that they have something that they did for this country. Not people who vote with Githeri on the line and they were given exos. And I hope, in honor of Father Alois Cheruiyot Bet, Madam Speaker, he should be awarded posthumous. I would have expected in these national honors for people like Father Alois Cheruiyot Bet to be recognized, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, the issue of customary law, we must recognize. I would have expected Senator Mirai to say something about Mekatilil Wamenza, people like Sharif Nasir, people who did something for this country, Madam Speaker. Luanda Magere, these are people we should, so that our children can know who they are. In fact, in this proposal, Madam Speaker, we should have at least a museum be constructed. Madam Speaker, you have traveled extensively. You go to every state, they have a unique place where they try to preserve their culture. What is wrong with us Africans? Why do we run away? I want to separate the Ma community. Because they have really tried, despite the modernization, to maintain their culture, their identity, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, on the aspect of objects, I agree. The issue of posterity of information, we have conversed that, Madam Speaker. On the conflict of interest, we have said that, Madam Speaker. On the issue of selection committee, I want to agree that we need a proper selection committee to know who should qualify. Not have people like Herman being awarded compensation, state honors or county honors, Madam Speaker. I would have wished Senator Miraj to get aspect of county honors because we now have national honors. So I don't know how the selection committee will paraphrase, Madam Speaker, or the procedure and petition. I'm happy this has been, I'm just running through, Madam Speaker, in the interest of time, is the petition, you can petition. And I'm happy, Madam Speaker, you did mention something about the sons and daughters of this. But in my culture, Madam Speaker, where I come from, I tend to agree with Senator Kalwale that when you are born and dowry is paid, you belong to Mzee, where you are married to. But I know that.
Order, Senator Kalwale, the Senator Cherarkey, can you focus on the bill?
Madam Speaker, Senator Kalwale might have disturbed you until you are referring me to Senator Kalwale. Madam Speaker, I'm just saying my college in culture, and the elders are watching me, and I just to talk to a number of them. When you marry, you get your wife and you pay down, and I know my elder Senator Kisang is smiling in confirmation because it's like that. Madam Speaker, in conclusion, I remain focused.
Senator Cherarkey, I'll take opportunity since you're veering off to inform you that the first woman governor in Rift Valley was married in Luo Nyanza.
You know, culture and voting are two different things. So on that one, I agree because they are totally different things. But I'm Speaker, in conclusion, because I've seen but I'm Speaker, finally, something about revisionism of history. But I'm Speaker, I've seen some people saying, you know, it's only Mau Mau who fought for freedom of this country. It is not true. These people have written the history for their convenience. We have people from where Senator Damson Mungatana came from. Even in Ukambani, we should stop this revisionism of history. Even here in Busia, there are many freedom fighters. But some people, some have decided that Mau Mau only fought for freedom and they come from Mount Kenya. Even in Mandera, even I used to have Chief Kwani, the father to Raila Amolo Odinga, the grandfather.
Who is the grandfather?
What is the name of the father to Raila, my chair? Odinga.
The father to Odinga is Jaramogi Odinga.
Are the freedom fighters. My grandfather, Jean-Marie Serone. Why is it that when they write history, they want only to recognize people from Mount Kenya? And that is why you see one of the politicians always shouting on top of their...
What's your point of order? Senator Maina has a point of order.
Honorable Speaker, I rise on a point of order, understanding Order 98 and 101 on the accuracy of the contents of the speech being given by the Honorable Senator from Nandi, Senator Chiradige. Is the Senator in order to raise about objections about Mau Mau having fought for the freedom of this nation, while in actual fact the purpose of this bill is to honor individuals who have played a critical role in the development of this nation, who have fought battles and conquered in various respects, and who, the Honorable Speaker, if he had an issue about who fought for the freedom of this nation, and he believes there are some who fought from Coast region, from the Western region, from Nyanza region, what he needs to do is to offer that evidence, but not challenge, Honorable Speaker, the role that was played by Mau Mau in fighting for the freedom of this nation. Is he in order to juxtapose it so that to bring down the role that was played by Mau Mau, Honorable Speaker? He's out of order. He needs to be called back to order. And he should offer.
Senator Maina, my understanding was he did not denigrate what Mau Mau did. What he says, there are others beyond Mau Mau.
He can bring in the evidence without showing as though he's, he's comparing the two, juxtaposing the two, and bringing one. And this is not the purpose of this bill. The purpose of this bill, Honorable Speaker, is to ensure you celebrate the Mau Mau for what they did. Let me finish, Honorable Speaker.
You know what
you
a point of order should
celebrate the
be.
Mau Mau, and you celebrate whoever else fought for freedom from their
Senator
corner.
Maina, you know what a point of order, how a point of order should be. Senator Cherarke, I will direct that you be sensitive, not to denigrate any hero from this country.
Madam Speaker, I thank you, Madam Speaker. I'm surprised because Senator Veronica is a member of Speaker's panel. I thought she knows the difference.
Senator Cherarke,
out of order
you can
again.
actually focus on your presentation.
Madam Speaker, can I conclude?
Senator Cherarke, do you want to be informed by Senator Kenywa?
Yes,
Madam Speaker, I just wanted to inform Senator Cherarge, if he bothered to read his history, it is not only Mau Mau who fought for independence, there is Raila who resisted. There is Mekatili Wamenza. It's just that he doesn't know, he is reading his history selectively. It is in public knowledge, everybody knows. That's why we are looking for the skull of Koitarela Samoei. Why would he be looking for his skull? It's because he resisted. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Senator Cherarke, res ipsa locita. Please proceed to finish.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I think that was a lot of disinformation. Madam Speaker, colleagues.
Senator Cherarke, please just focus.
Information or deny? I deny that information. Madam Speaker, with those many remarks, so that my colleagues can contribute, we should stop revising history in this country. I support the bill.
Yes.
Senator Osoti.
Thank you, Madam Speaker, for this opportunity. Let me start by congratulating the owner of this bill, Senator Miraj Abdullahi, for this very, very good bill. Honorable Miraj, you have demonstrated that nominated members.
Senator Osoti, allow me to interrupt a little. For the senators who have not spoken, colleagues have requested if you could take a little less time. We know you have all your time by right, but if you could take a little less so that they can all speak.
Yes, I was saying, I think as a nominated senator, I think it's important to appreciate that this is a huge contribution to this Senate coming up with this very, very necessary and important bill. So I want to congratulate Senator Miraj, who was my member
in the CP committee, very committed member, always appearing during the meetings and contributing. I really miss you when you left. Madam Speaker, allow me to quickly make a few comments. This bill is a good bill and is long overdue. But I have a few observations that I wanted to make. Madam Speaker, now that we are in Busia County, everything we are speaking here, we are debating, we must always make reference to Busia County so that we look like we are Senate Mashinani. I want to say that there are many heroes in this county, Busia County, who have been forgotten. And they are not just in academic, as someone put it earlier today. We have heroes in this county, like J.J. Masiga. Those who remember those golden days of AFC Leopards and Gor Mahia. You remember J.J. Masiga could score a goal against Gor Mahia when it mattered most. I remember East African Challenge Cup in Uganda, where Gor Mahia and AFC met in the final, and they were leading by 2 goals against AFC Leopards. And J.J. Masiga, in the dying minutes of the game, helped to score 3 goals against Gor Mahia. And this gentleman was not just a footballer, but he is a great doctor in this county, in this country, Madam Speaker. But J.J. Masiga has not received any honor from this government. Nothing at all. But the people who have done very little are getting honors, Madam Speaker. Even the Githeri man got an honor from President Uhuru for just displaying Githeri in a paper bag. And serious people like Masiga have nothing to show off. We have another important sportsman in this county called Wilberforce Mulamba, who was also a great footballer of our times. No one is talking about him today, Madam Speaker. And then lately, Madam Speaker, Noah Wanyama, who happens to be the father of Mariga and Victor Mugabe, hails from this county. And then you come now to Mariga and his brother Victor, the most decorated professional footballers. The two are from this county, but there are no honors to them. So even as we discuss about this, we also need to question the process of giving these national awards to our people, and starting with the Busia County. And I hope tomorrow when we are debating that motion of recognizing the great sons and daughters of this county, we need to come up with a resolution that they should be remembered, whether alive or dead. And not forgetting the late Obel, who will be buried very soon, also held from this. This is the man who made an attempt to discover the AIDS drug and was never given a chance. This is a man who promoted African medicine, which has now become a global issue in some countries. So I think we need to really push for recognition of these sons and daughters of this county. Mr. Speaker, when we talk about preservation of history, culture, and heritage, I think this is where Kenya has failed, because we don't preserve our history. And that is why we are not promoting patriotism among our youth, because they don't understand our struggles, because they don't understand our history. Madam Speaker, if you go to some countries, you are amazed with the level of protection of their history, preservation of their culture and heritage. I recently had an opportunity to visit Kremlin, Kremlin is the power center of the Russia Federation. And Madam Speaker, here in Kenya, we struggle to go to State House. When someone goes to State House, it's a big thing. It is a show of power. But in Kremlin, where the president of Russia sits, it is also a museum. They have preserved their artifacts for centuries. Centuries. You go there and you find military equipment that were used in many wars in the past are kept there. You go there and find even important heritage, even gold that was recovered in the war is stored there. And that is important because it teaches the youth to be very patriotic to their country. And you go there, you see all that, and you pay something for that. Space technology, advancement in space technology, you go there and pay. So you go to Kremlin very easily by just paying and going to see those things, and you learn a lot. And like here in Kenya, where going to State House is political and a show of power. In those other countries, is about culture, is about heritage, is about history, which promotes patriotism. Madam Speaker, I was looking at the bill in totality, and I was wondering, this selection committee that is proposed by Senator Miraj, I think it needs to be improved, because we have to have public involvement, not just in public participation, but their inclusion in the select committee. It should not be a county government affair only, where we have the clerk of the county assembly, we have the CEC member in charge of culture and heritage, and the chairperson of the county public service board, and 2 public officers nominated by the county public service board. Where is the public involved? I think you need to consider there, so that we have representation from stakeholders, from public. Otherwise, this committee is going to be controlled by governors, and they will bring people who are not worthy to be given recognition in terms of Hall of Fame. So I think that aspect has to be looked at. And again, we need clarity on who appoints the select committee. I know you will say appointment is by dint of the law, but I think clarity needs to be there, especially for these 2 public officers, who appoints them. Madam Speaker, let me also talk about the criteria of those who qualify for House of Fame. I think there are many areas you can look at, many areas. When people are looking for this criteria, they probably look at those who have contributed a lot in politics, those who have contributed a lot in sports, but also we need to encourage investors in our counties. Madam Speaker, like this place where we are, Busia, there is a young investor in this town called Itoya, who is my friend. He has a big hotel here. He's doing so well in matters of event management. All the big tents that you see around, even in Nairobi, this guy is the one who does. This is one person who...
Order, Senator Mariam. Walk here like it's at your house. Please go back and bow.
Madam Speaker, you know, members are not used to this chamber. So we need people like those to be recognized by their respective counties. Like in Vihiga, we have someone called Ibrahim Ambwere, who is probably the richest businessman in this region. No one recognizes him. So I think the criteria of recognition must be very specific. Madam Speaker, talking about counties, you know our role is Article 96 of the Constitution. Any law we make.
No, Senator Osotsi. Can we have Senator Tobiko now?
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, let me begin by congratulating Senator Miraj for this very good bill, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, our sister has done us proud. Madam Speaker, you know, for a long time, the nominated members have always been taken to, you know, look like some flower girls who came here with no brains and no value and no contributions. So, my sister, you have done us very proud. This is a very good bill. Madam Speaker, you know, I'm particularly happy with this bill because, as many members have said, it will correct, it will rewrite what needs to be rewritten, what needs to be corrected, what needs to be affirmed about our history, Madam Speaker. And Madam Speaker, recognize very important people in the history of our republic, Madam Speaker, in the history of our communities, Madam Speaker, because it's very important that we don't lose, Madam Speaker, people who have made exceptional contributions in our societies, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, this Hall of Fame, Madam Speaker, the nominees must be able to demonstrate exceptional contributions, Madam Speaker, measurable achievements of whatever in various fields. I have heard Senator Osotsi talking about even those who have done well in business, Madam Speaker. But I thought there should be a rider on the issue of business, Madam Speaker, because this country has been bedeviled by corruption, so that we do not reward and recognize people whose businesses we may not understand the sources, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, if we were to reward business people, then the country, the public must understand the sources of their businesses, you know, Madam Speaker, so that we don't reward people who have ripped off the public of very needed resources that would have otherwise gone to development, Madam Speaker. But, Madam Speaker, I was saying it is very important that these nominees demonstrate exceptional contribution, Madam Speaker, and the eligibility should be a distinguished record, Madam Speaker, of competitive achievement, Madam Speaker, at the highest levels. Now, Madam Speaker, you know, I might just become one of the beneficiaries of this, Madam Speaker, because in my community, Madam Speaker, I'm known to have broken glass ceilings, Madam Speaker. You know, no, I'm not campaigning. I'm stating a fact. I'm stating a fact. It is a fact that in my community, I am the first woman ever to be elected, not in the seat that has been preserved for women, but for the ones that is believed are the preserve of men. You know, I might be injuring egos here of the Senator of Laikipia and others, but it is a fact, Madam Speaker. And not for one term. I did it again just to confirm that yes, the people have agreed that a woman, Madam Speaker, is as good a leader as the men, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, this should go through rigorous processes, and I do agree with previous speakers, Madam Speaker, that it should not be left to the county officials only. It should have public participation so that the public can decide and can confirm who really deserves to be put in that kind of record of the Hall of Fame, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, the voting process, even at the national level, so that we don't have again a situation that has been mentioned severally here of the Githeri man, so that we have people who, that are recognized nationally and that all Kenyans accept that this person has contributed
in very special ways in their various fields, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, it is also good for communities to be able to recognize and to reward, you know, their people, members of their societies who have contributed to those communities. Madam Speaker, in the Maasai community for a long time, the history that has been written about our people is that we were collaborators, you know, of the colonialists. But it's not true. We have Maasais who fought along side by side with the Mau Mau people, Madam Speaker, and it is known. And they can be recorded, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, we have people of distinguished contributions in that society. Madam Speaker, we have people like, you know, the late Honorable Ntimama, who has continuously fought for the rights of that community, for their land rights, and it may need to be recognized, Madam Speaker. He fought to the last minute, Madam Speaker, of his life. So, Madam Speaker, it is important that we have these contributions. Madam Speaker, if I speak about, you know, women who in this country who have contributed, Grace Ogot, Julia Ojambo, Jane Kiano, very many. Senator she was Beth who? Beth Mugo. Madam Speaker, women who have stood for the rights of women in this country to the level that we have reached today. Today we are in this house standing on the shoulders of very great women. Madam Speaker, women like Charity Ngilu, I know women held, Charity Ngilu held the hands of very many women to be able to make it in their communities, Madam Speaker, to make it to Parliament. I know how many women who owe their achievements to those women, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, let me say about Julia Ojambo, because I have a special you know, gratitude towards Julia Ojambo. For me to get into politics, Madam Speaker, because the big parties will not recognize a woman from, you know, a Ma community because they thought women will never make it. Julia Ojambo accepted me in her political party, which was called LPK. That is where I began my politics. That is how LPK formed the coalition with Honorable Kalonzo Musyoka to form ODM Kenya. And that is how I find myself today in this house, Madam Speaker. And so, Madam Speaker, the contributions of those women have results that are live today in this country. Madam Speaker, let me just say this is really a bill that the time has come and we should pass it as soon as yesterday, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, but let me just underline that a rigorous process needs to be taken so that, you know, we are rewarding really people of achievement, Madam Speaker, you know, people and fields of that have tangible milestones, Madam Speaker, in all fields, the academia, the business area, you know, leadership in politics, and in many other areas, Madam Speaker, because leadership is not only in politics. Even in the social arena, Madam Speaker, there are people who have exemplary contributions, Madam Speaker, who need to be recognized. So, Madam Speaker, I really do support so that I can give time to my colleagues. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Senator Umtata.
Madam Speaker, thank you for the opportunity to contribute to this important bill. I find it quite important that we should have a way of recognizing those who make outstanding contributions to society. My only concern is that we need to introduce something in the bill, Senator Miraj, to address the funding of this kind of enterprise. It can end up being a white elephant if we don't secure its funding, maybe say about 2% or 0.02% of the budget of the county government
should go toward this enterprise. Because, Madam Speaker, I'm the host, I will not speak for long. There are many people who would like to speak. I just take the opportunity to invite all of you here and welcome you to Busia. Enjoy your time and feel free and feel at home. Thank you very much, Madam Speaker.
Senator Beth Siengo. Senator Beth, are you ready?
Yes, I am now. Thank you, Madam Speaker. Let me start by congratulating my colleague, Senator Miraj. This bill is very, very important. Madam Speaker, I would say that it is only Kenya that do not value their history, as in to preserve it and make sure that even young generations will know of people who contributed so much in this country. Madam Speaker, when we travel, for those of us who have the privilege to travel, we see statues, writings in other countries, people talking of their important people and figures who did a lot of contribution to their country. And in Kenya, we only talk of them and we forget, and even our history is distorted. We don't get a true representation of what happened. And that's why Senator Peris Tombiko talked of Maasai stamped as collaborators, yet they were also fighters, and they fought and contributed to independence. Madam Speaker, I would say that this Hall of Fame in the counties is very important, because people from every county has done a lot for this nation, Madam Speaker. Looking at the region like Lower Eastern, I would say they are also very important people who have contributed to this, to the history and to this nation in special ways. When we look at what a man called Munyao Kisoi did to hoist the flag at Mount Kenya, a place which is very cold, there were no means of getting to Mount Kenya to the peak, and he moved and went and hoisted the flag of Kenya on Mount Kenya. Munyao Kisoi must be recognized, and it is very important that contribution of such figures is put into history. Madam Speaker, we also know of a man from Kitui County called Chief Kivoi, who led the traders from Europe to go for long distance trade, and they were walking all the way from the border of Tana River going to the coast on foot. There were no vehicles, there were no flights, but he walked. They walked and led teams to go and do barter trade. Madam Speaker, those are contributions of Kamba people. We look at people like Siokemau, a woman that makes every Kamba to be called Siokemau, a great prophetess who did and saw even the coming of the colonialists, even the coming of the railway line, construction of railway line. And people were traveling from Nandi, from Laikipia, to go and consult Siokemau to be told what the future holds. Madam Speaker, a great prophetess. Madam Speaker, I want to add my voice to what the Senator of Nandi said.
Order, senators on my right. Please listen in silence.
Fighting for the freedom of this nation. The fighters did not come from one region. All Kenyans from all corners contributed. When you look at Paul Gay, who was even in prison with Jomo Kenyatta, and we know of this, Madam Speaker, We cannot talk of Mau Mau to be the only people who fought for the freedom of this nation. But across the country, Paul Gay Akamba, Jomo Kenyatta from Mount Kenya, Kontale from Rift Valley.
Senator Beth, nobody has said Mau Mau was the only one. So make the point about.
I'm talking of inclusivity, Madam Speaker. Thank you. I'm talking of inclusivity.
Point of order, Honorable Speaker.
Honorable Senator Veronica, I think I have dealt with the issue.
Yes, there is another point of order. But why are you contemplating?
Madam Speaker, I don't know why specific people getting agitated when...
Okay, Senator Minor, what is your point of order?
Honorable Speaker, my point of
under
order...
Under which point of order?
Senator Beth, I am the one of the chair.
Understanding Order 105, the accuracy of the speech and the mode in which it is put. Honorable Speaker, is this Honorable Senator in order to once again denigrate Mau Mau, juxtapose and compare, as opposed to her just giving
Senator
a
Maina,
contribution?
she has not done what you're saying she's done. If you're raising a point
Honorable
of order,
Speaker, if you listen to what she said, let me quote what she said. She said, it is not only Mau Mau. Honorable Speaker, the phrasing of those words, it's actually denigrating.
Senator Maina, I am ruling that I have ruled the words are not denigrating. I have ruled Senator Siengo. I have requested that because of the sensitive manner in which this issue is, Senator, are you on the chair or I'm on the chair? Yes, you are. I can actually hear what you're saying. So please sit down. I'm actually ruling on this. So I rule your assertion not to be accurate. Senator Kinyua, you are.
Madam Speaker, pengine sisi hatuelewi maana ya jina Mau Mau. Inamaanisha mzungu aende Ulaya, Mwafrika apate uhuru. Mtu yoyote aliyekuwa akipigania uhuru wa Kenya, awe ni Fred Kubai, Ochieng Oneko, Bildad Kagia, Fred Kubai, wale wote walipigania uhuru. Kwa hivyo ukimaanisha Mau Mau, unamaanisha mtu yeyote. Pengine ni vile historia yetu inaegemea mahali fulani. Kwa sababu hata
Senator Kinyua, that's a point of information, of important information, not order, a point of information. Senator Kinyua, can you finish that point of information? Just wanted to guide you, it is a point of information, not order.
Okay, so kwa hivyo bwana Bi Mwenyekiti, mimi kile kinachonisumbua ni vile ambavyo unasikia watu wanasema kulingana vile nataka kuelekeza, ukisikiza kwa maoni yao ni kana kwamba ati ni mtu wa Mlima Kenya. Hata Mlima Kenya kuna wale tunawaita, ukisikiza kwa Kikuyu kule wale tunawaita Tokonia na malengine, wale ambao ni collaborators wale. Kwa hivyo si jambo ngeni. Hata ukienda kwa Masai kuna wale ambao walichangia na wale walikuwa upande mwingine.
Senator Kinyua has actually explained what Mau Mau means. And from what he's saying, Mau Mau is not restricted to people from Mount Kenya. So what is your point of information, Senator Kajwang?
Sorry, Madam Speaker, I wanted to inform Senator Siengo and the entire House that Kenyans of all shades, tribe and color fought for the independence of this country. In Karachuonyo, there's a gentleman called Adala Utuko. Adala Utuko was a founder of the Kenya Taxpayers Organization that resisted British attempts to impose poll tax in certain parts of the country. He was killed. Adala Utuko's body has never been...
Senator Kajwang, I didn't want you to contribute on this. Honorable Senator, that's fine.
I'm sorry, it's called Ojijo Teko. I'm very sorry for mixing up the names. Ojijo Teko's remains have never been found. He was killed by the imperialists. So this thing of trying to own, to tribalize, or
Senator Kajwang, I would want to actually lay this debate around Mau Mau to rest. One, Nobody has said on the floor of this house that only Mau Mau fought. So I want that debate to actually cease. And secondly, Senator Kinyua has actually given some, Senator Kajuang, please. Senator Kinyua has given important information on what Mau Mau means. It does not mean Mount Kenya. So Senator Beth, you will contribute.
Thank you, Chair.
Senator Beth, you'll contribute without suggesting that Mau Mau is for one tribe.
Chair.
Senator Veronica, please.
Chair, I did not indicate in any slightest way that Mau Mau belongs to Mount Kenya. I only said that when we talk of Mau Mau fighters, it should be inclusive. Madam Chair, even the late Honorable
Order, Senator Beth Siengo. If you will remember, the definition of Mau Mau as said is not one region. So proceed without making that.
Chair, that is his interpretation. We know other means. Anyway, Madam Chair, I wanted to say that even during the struggle, Honorable late Phoebe Asio led a group of women to visit the Kapenguria 7, and they also contributed. And Phoebe Asio comes from Nyanza. Madam Speaker, I wanted to say Kitili Mwendwa from Kitui was the first Chief Justice from that region, and he contributed so much, and that was followed closely by Honorable Nyiva Mwendwa, who was the first female minister from the region of Kitui. Madam Speaker, allow me to say Charity Ngilu, as Senator Peris Tombiko indicated, that was the presidential candidate when even men could not dare oppose the late President Moi. Madam Speaker, I want to say His Excellency Kalonzo Musyoka was also a vice president from the region of Kitui. So we have very senior figures from our region, and they have contributed, Madam Chair, to the development of this nation and to the history of this nation. With the Hall of Fame, Madam Speaker.
Honorable Senators, it is now 6:30. Time to adjourn the House. There being yes. Honorable Senator Beth, you have 8 more minutes when this debate resumes. So that the House will resume tomorrow, Wednesday, 8th October, 2025 at 2:30, at 9:30 a.m. At 9:30 a.m.
Speaker, we cannot continue that way. It is immoral, it is wrong, it is taking this country backwards. Transparency and accountability should be the banner of a democracy. It should be the banner of democracy. And it should what drives our, if your accounts have been audited and issues have been found, Honorable Speaker, and they have come to the floor of the House, and the House has actually reprimanded you, this is the last point where audit comes, Honorable Speaker. The last point of audit, Honorable Speaker. But we still see. We have seen vice chancellors who have mismanaged universities, and they are still in those positions, Honorable Speaker. They're still there. We have seen universities that have collapsed, Honorable Speaker, and vice chancellor still wears a cap, holds a graduation, and says, I'm the vice chancellor. And yet there's a chancellor there who still says, yes, you are there. Honorable Speaker, we have chairmen in these state corporations, chairmen who preside over the rot because they are yes people to the CEOs. You know, a CEO always holds the chairman very closely. And therefore, the chairman cannot hold into account the CEO. And it becomes a vicious. Honorable Speaker, if you as chairman of a state corporation, that state corporations have been cited for audit and misappropriation of funds, Honorable Speaker, both the CEO, the chairman, and the board should go. But because of political patronage, Honorable Speaker, and I want to speak this with
The Chair appreciates very much the passion with which you are prosecuting this matter, but can I just ask you one question?
Yes.
Is the CEO of Child Welfare Society in 2015, 2016 is still loading an office? Indeed, most of these things, I would be surprised if the CEO of the National Cancer Institute was there 2019 is still around. He's not around.
And that's why.
Just a moment.
That brings me to my next point.
Hang on, just to enrich you on what you have to say.
Yes,
and if the CEO of the National Social Security Fund in 2021 is still around, he's not around, or she's not around. And the same goes, I think, for the one who was there 2017, because that's a good 8 years ago. So I think it goes both ways. Parliament also has a responsibility. I mean, this is just for the interest of the chair. The chair is also a member of Parliament, you know that.
Yes.
That we get these reports on time.
And that was what my next point is, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker.
Yes, the Honorable Komenje.
Honorable Speaker.
Komenje is on a point of order.
I like this debate.
Are you on a point of order, point of information?
Yes, Honorable Speaker.
Proceed.
I was trying to find the standing order that establishes the Committee of Implementation, Honorable Speaker.
Yes.
And perhaps, and just bring it to your attention, Honorable Speaker, because once the Committee of Implementation receives these reports, and after they are tabled, there's a period of implementation that requires that the Committee of Implementation can only follow, I think, after 3 or 6 months. That's why I was trying 60 days. I stand guided 60 days, Honorable Speaker. Perhaps, Honorable Speaker, the majority leader who is standing in here, when they meet as House business, they need to resolve to allow the Committee of Implementation and these other oversight committees, the PICs and the PACs, to table their reports earlier. They are debated, approved, and referred to the Committee of Implementation so that we can keep up with some of these reports. Otherwise, you find the Committee of Implementation is looking at reports that were done in the 11th Parliament and not up to date. So by the time we catch up, these CEOs have retired and left or gone somewhere else. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Order. Honorable Mwenje, you make a lot of sense. But in this case here, there shall be a select committee to be known as the Committee on Implementation. The committee shall scrutinize the resolutions of the House, including adopted committee reports. You're just about to adopt this report now. So the implementation committee you can't put the horse, the cart before the horse. What will it implement if this report is not there from the committees? So the starting point, in my opinion, is that these reports by the Public Investment